Hello, good evening to you. Thank you for texting Abby King. Good evening, name, location, please.
Good evening, my name is Korea, please.
You're welcome.
Yes. The statement of that woman, yes, well, that is our opinion. But of the truth, before Buhari left office, what did he say? If the youth are lazy, that's what Buhari said. But at the end, what do? We still voted for him. The person who called the youth are lazy, the only youth gathered and said, this is the person I want to vote for. You voted for the person you want to vote for, and they turned it upside down. But right now, that's why I'm telling our appeal to the youth. It is the right time for us to think. Some of the people who are in assembly and house of rep, house of senate, some of them started as a councillor, and from this politician, the youth to spend their money. So it's the right time for the youth, but who are graduates to know that their future is in their hand, and for them to know the right place they are going to vote for. Come to the river state. Can you see what is happening? Now, when this one say constructively, in river state, who are you going to meet? Are you going to meet somebody who you voted for and you do not know what they are doing? You don't know what is happening in the whole constituency? That is what is happening in river state. Thank you very much, please.
All right. Thank you for calling. This message here says Nigerian criticism, either constructive or otherwise, is treated with utmost liberty. Okay. There should be Reverend Onyedika Chiamadi. All right. Thank you for texting. More messages here. This one says, good evening, presenter. How are you doing? Okay, Vincent Muzi Chokochoiche. It says, my sister, for the fact that the so-called leaders are so blind to the plight of the citizens. And over the years, we have been talking and talking, all to no avail. The situation in Nigeria actually needs God's intervention. Thanks and God bless you. God bless you too, Vincent Muzi. All right, let's see. More messages are in. Okay, this one says, that woman is a very big disappointment to female folk. Dr. Chooks Awaraka. Oh, okay. You think this is a disappointment? Okay. It's a whole lot going on. Okay, this one is long, Sha. All right, let me do this call first. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, ma.
Good evening to you. Name, location, please.
I'm calling from
Okay. What's your name?
My name is Onye, ma'am.
You're welcome. Talk to me.
It's about the minister in about the. So you talk to the two. So.
Sorry, I didn't get that. Can you take it again?
About the minister that you cannot do anything like that. We have as a youth, I have protested what to claim at the end. They will be against us. So when you do something like that, that's why some youth so they are afraid to push up protest. So we are trying to know that we are.
Okay.
So I don't know this country has that. We have protested now.
All right.
What happened last time? What we came out and the
okay.
Police came to try and guide us or not, and still want to come to judge.
All right.
We are trying. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, believe Becca Innocent Child says, coming from who told us that NAS is not opposition friendly, the same woman who Nigerian youth supported when Wike troubled her. Now she's calling us lazy and complainant. If the federal government have made Nigeria more conducive, like her own time when she was a youth, would we have complained? The only thing I have to tell her now is justice is justice, no matter how it's gotten. Sooner than expected, we the youth of Nigeria must get the desired justice, which will bring the peace that is lacking in the whole nation now. She's looking for youths that will come out to engage the FG in any form. So they will send their armies to shoot at us. Madam, your plan have failed. Oh, okay. This one says, good evening, my lady. Sometimes I wonder how some adults think the youth are not given an enabling ground to strive. They use our fellow youths against us. I'm a youth and I cry for my country. These old ones would allow us to enjoy this country. My lady, do you know my elder brother has served since 2022 till now? He has no job. This was someone that was solely against Jakpa. Now he's looking for opportunity to run from the country. Company he wants to start is still pending. Let's be sincere to ourselves. Okay, I didn't get your name there, but all right. This message says, "Good evening, Amaka, the High Life Queen. What does the senator mean by constructive criticism? Even if the youth engage the leaders, will they listen? Rather, they will call for your arrest or they will threaten you. Honestly, this present government has failed. They're the worst government ever." Thanks from Ebere Chuku. Thank you for texting, Ebere Chuku. All right, that's much I can take, beautiful people. Thank you for texting, and of course, thank you for calling. Let's have another episode of The Thrill tomorrow. Same station, same time, and of course, same presenter. I'm Amaka, the Amaka of Port Harcourt. It's like Come Your Way Again, which is tomorrow for this Thrill. But a commercial comes up next. I will take you through the world news at 10 p.m. Make sure to stay tuned to the dial. It's going to be a fun package from now up until 1 a.m. Okay, so make sure to stay tuned to the dial.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Please listen to this paid infomercial.
Herbal Heritage International, the Kokoroko, for herbal medicine, where they produce strong, correct medicine, they take it, they support with country health care system. Countryman, correct, bakelistic, ogbonge herbal medicine, they we know they come out for public anyhow, like a big basket. Food ground, as every Christmas, have a boundary. Seeking a self sabi medicine, we pass them. After all, monkey smart now, because tree near tree is our forest. Heritage International will use the technology of computer testing machine to see and know before attacking that your health condition. We don't become Ubarugba for your life with the correct treatment. Therefore, whether definition or without definition, make you visit Herbal Heritage International. Offices way near you. Herbal Heritage International. Now you.
Hello and welcome to the program Roots and Herbs. Roots and Herbs is a program that discusses health-related challenges and suggests possible ways out from the herbal medicine perspective. Roots and Herbs is put together and sponsored by Herbal Heritage International, also known as Baba Yoruba. Baba Yoruba is currently having a special promo package. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. This offer runs while the stock lasts at number 24 Ikwere Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. Number 24 Ikwere Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. And at the same time, it will give you the privilege of meeting Baba Yoruba himself at the venue. For details and inquiries, the telephone number to call is 080 33 111 946. I repeat, 080 33 111 946. 080 33 111 946. On today's edition of the program, our topic for discussion is staphylococcal infection. And I have with me in the studio, Dr. Otumba Abiodun. Sir, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Staphylococcal infections do occur in the body system when Staphylococcus bacteria enters into the body system and spread within the body system, destroying body cells. Staphylococcus bacteria are majorly of three types that can afflict men. But of these three, the most pathogenic in nature, that is the one that is capable of causing diseases easily in men, is the Staphylococcus aureus, because it is capable of invading body cells, destroying them, causing different pathological changes in the body. When Staphylococcus bacteria spread in the body system, there are a number of changes that one can experience. This can result to burning sensation within the individual, and this can be seen as fever from time to time, or a situation where there is certain hotness coming from within. There can be skin manifestations in staphylococcal infection that can be given one periodic boils or rashes all over the body. In some people, such rashes can come around the pubic region or even leading to boils that can lead to blisters or even ulcers on the skin. It is possible for one to experience persistent headache in staphylococcal infection because the body fluid is already contaminated. Staphylococcus, as we know, is a form of bacteria. Any bacteria that is capable of spreading in the body system can lead to reactions in the body that can further damage body tissues. And when this occurs, it is possible for one to experience joint pains in form of infective arthritis. Part of this bacteria can spread deep into the tissues of the heart, affecting the valves of the heart. And when this occurs, you discover that there can be palpitation that some will start witnessing as if they have panic attack. When this is allowed to continue in the body system, it is possible for one to start getting tired easily. There are many people, by walking from one pole to another, they get tired, or by doing just something that is not supposed to be that tasking in terms of energy consumption, they discover that it's as if they don't have enough hair where they are located. All this can be as a result of weakness of the heart resulting from infection or spread of this bacteria we're talking about. When this bacteria is able to pollute the body fluid, it is possible for one to witness mouth odor. Mouth odor is a form of changes that is called halitosis, where people will start coming up with breath coming from within that is already polluted. There is no amount of time such people wash their mouth, you discover that the breath coming out is very offensive. All this can be as a result of pollution of the body system. It is possible, if any bacteria is able to dwell so long in the body system, to contaminate the whole body fluid and even damage nerves. When nerves are damaged, there can be tiredness. Not only this, it is possible for men to suffer a lot because this can degenerate to a situation where a man is unable to stand like a real man. When a man is unable to stand like a real man, it is seen as a serious challenge because the whole family can be affected. Part of the joy of the relationship can be stolen, and this can cause different rancors in the family. A man that is unable to stand as he should can find it difficult to get arousal. The desire for opposite sex can disappear, and once that arousal is not there, that is the ignition point. It means such a man will not be able to stand like a real man. In some people, the arousal can be there, but you discover that because nerves have been damaged, the transmission from the upper center down to the power point of man, that is in between his two thighs, can be weakened. When such occurs, you discover that such a man can even get arousal or is able to stand, but the type of standing that he has is not strong enough to help him to even get into the act. In some people, they make efforts to get into the act, but you discover that they are unable to spend more than a minute or more before they are exhausted. Mind you, before a man can be called a real man, such a man must be able to have the arousal as desired and also be able to sustain the energy he has been able to gather for a considerable length of time. That is when such a man can be able to make his partner happy when it comes to man-to-woman interaction. So such men do suffer from this from time to time. It's after knowing the root cause of the challenge that one will be able to know the right step to take for one to be totally free. Whenever you experience anything that we have been able to mention or other things, it's very important for one to visit a competent healthcare giver who will be able to run tests on one and pinpoint where the problem lies and provide solution. For more enlightenment and advice, the number to call is 080 33 111 946. I repeat, 080 33 111 946. Thank you all.
All right, you've been listening to the program Roots and Herbs. Roots and Herbs is a program that discusses health-related challenges and suggests possible ways out from the herbal medicine perspective. Roots and Herbs is put together and sponsored by Herbal Heritage International, also known as Baba Yoruba. Baba Yoruba is currently having a special promo package. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. This offer runs while the stock lasts at number 24 Ikwere Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. Number 24 Ikwere Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. And at the same time, it will give you the privilege of meeting Baba Yoruba himself at the venue. For details and inquiries, the telephone number to call is 080 33 111 946. I repeat, 080 33 111 946. 080 33 111 946. I repeat, 080 33 111 946. Let's take our sponsor's message. Don't go away. We shall be right back.
Herbal Heritage International, the Kokoroko, for herbal medicine, when they produce strong, correct medicine, they take it, they support with country health care system. Quatli man, correct, bekelistic, ogbonge herbal medicine, they know they come out for public anyhow, like a big basket. Full ground, as every Christmas have been boundary, sickness self sabi medicine will pass them. After all, monkey smart now, because tree near tree is our forest. Heritage International will use the technology of computer testing machine to see and know before attacking that your health condition. We don't become Ubarumba for your life with the correct treatment. Therefore, whether definition or without definition, make you visit Herbal Heritage International. Offices way near you. Herbal Heritage International. Now
You're welcome back to Roots and Herbs. Roots and Herbs is a program that discusses health-related challenges and suggests possible ways out from the herbal medicine perspective. Roots and Herbs is put together and sponsored by Herbal Heritage International, also known as Baba Yoruba. Baba Yoruba is currently having a special promo package. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. This offer runs while the stock lasts at number 24 Ikwere Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. Number 24 Ikwere Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. And at the same time, it will give you the privilege of meeting Baba Yoruba himself at the venue. For details and inquiries, the telephone number to call is 080 33 111 946. I repeat, 080 33 111 946. 080 33 111 946. Until we come your way again, remain blessed.
And that was a paid infomercial.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South Sound, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered. On air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
This is Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News.
This is the House of Representatives Committee on Renewable Energy, chaired by Afam Ogene, in collaboration with the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, in Lagos. According to him, Nigeria's involvement in the Mission 300 initiative, a collaborative effort with the World Bank and the African Development Bank, exemplifies its commitment to advancing clean and inclusive energy access across Africa. Abbas urged that the momentum built so far should not be allowed to dissipate, but resolutions should lead to concrete outcomes, including model legislation, greater investments, and the adoption of new technologies. The Speaker used the platform to reaffirm Nigeria's internal strides toward a clean energy transition. A High Court in Abuja has ordered the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to pay the required fees for certification of some documents it tendered as exhibits in trial of former Aviation Minister Hadi Sirika and 3 others. Sirika is charged alongside his daughter Fatima, son-in-law Jalal Hama, and Al Borak Investment Limited. Sirika, according to EFCC, abused his office as minister by conferring unfair advantage on Al Borak Global Investment Limited, Fatima, and Hama by using his position to influence the award to them. the contract for the apron extension at Katsina Airport for the sum of 1,498,300,750 naira. The EFCC said the offence contravened the provisions of some sections of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000 and of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Establishment Act 2004, as well as the Penal Code Act. As a resumed hearing, the prosecution tendered some documents through the 9th prosecution witness, while counsel for Hama and Alborak Global Investment Limited, Sunusi Musa and Michael Newman, objected to the admissibility of some of the documents. After listening to the parties, Justice Silvanus, in his ruling, held that since the government needs money, the court cannot shut the doors against the prosecution for not paying the required fee for decertification. He therefore ordered the prosecution to pay the required fee for the certification of the document and represent same before the court. The chieftaincy tussle about the rightful person to the throne of the paramount ruler of Iba and Obele communities in Emoha local government area of River State has been put to rest by the Supreme Court of Nigeria. A 5-man panel of the Supreme Court, in a unanimous judgment on the suit filed by Samson Ovwa against King Sunday Nwobodo Jonah, held that the application of the applicant had no special circumstance as required by law. The 5-man panel of the Apex Court, in a judgment read by the lead judge, Justice Bimbo Abia, said the court lacked the jurisdiction to evaluate the evidence which had already been evaluated by the trial court and upheld by an appeal court. The Supreme Court therefore dismissed the application of Samson Ovwa for lacking in merit and affirmed King Sunday Nwobodo Jonah as the authentic paramount ruler of Iba and Obili communities. Speaking to Today FM's Uchendu Ejoho, the counsel for the paramount ruler of Iba and Obili, S.C. Wambu, narrated the basis of the Supreme Court judgment and disclosed that the judgment had affirmed his client and Omobo people as bona fide owners of the stool of Uvwahu clan.
The Supreme Court said the application they brought as no special circumstance as required by law, and they did not in any way show any special circumstance. Now, what they are complaining of are evaluation of evidence, which the trial court has done and court of appeal have equally upheld. That Supreme Court is not in with jurisdiction to evaluate evidence, which the trial court have already evaluated. So that case does not have any special circumstance upon which it can come to Supreme Court. So the application lacks merit and was dismissed accordingly. Meaning the dispute in Iba chieftaincy too has come to an end. Yet the Honorable Dr. Nwobodo Jonah remain unchallenged as Nwa Iba and Rebele, and the people of Omobo become the original owners of the school and will attend to it.
Some River State women who walked out and the wife of the state's sole administrator, Theresa Ibas, who represented the First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, at an empowerment program in Port Harcourt, have continued to receive criticism for their actions. A group known as Concerned Rivers Indigenes, in a statement issued by its state coordinator, High Chief Monday Wehere, and the secretary, Wabina Godwin, condemned the action of the women and faltered the press statement credited to Tony Briggs, the state coordinator, Renewed Hope Initiative, River State. Wehere and Godwin claimed that the statement of Tony Briggs was misleading by faulting the statement of Lanre Olayinka, Senior Special Assistant on Public Communications and Social Media to the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike. The statement, while affirming that Lanre Olayinka's report told exactly what transpired during the empowerment program in Port Harcourt, described the action of the alleged sponsored women loyal to suspended Governor Siminalayi Fubara as premature, unpatriotic, and planned to intentionally embarrass President Bola Tinubu and the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, due to the emergency rule in the state. The statement therefore enjoined Tony Briggs to, within 48 hours, render an unreserved apology to Oluremi Tinubu, the wife of the sole administrator who has restored peace and order in River State. The concerned Rivers indigents also urged the sponsor of those women to apologize to Rivers people and stakeholders for embarrassing the state before the international community, and also condemned the acts of disloyalty, lack of morals, and show of irresponsibility displayed by the women. The River State government has officially launched the first round of the 2025 National Immunization Plus Days (NIPDs) campaign for polio vaccination. Speaking during the flag-off ceremony held at the State Primary Healthcare Management Board, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Michele Igwe, urged members to ensure that children receive the oral polio vaccine (OPV). Dr. Igwe noted that the campaign targets children aged 0 to 5 years and emphasized the importance of reaching every eligible child, including those in hard-to-reach communities. She reaffirmed the state government's unwavering commitment to safeguarding the health and well-being of children across River State.
The vaccine, mothers, is free and safe. I encourage the caregivers and parents to take their children between the age of 0 to 5 years to the nearest healthcare facility, give their children the vaccine. I also encourage all our partners, wonderful partners, to work in hand to collaborate with us to achieve our aim. By going around all the facilities, all the communities in Rivers State, all the children between the age of 0 to 5 to immunize them on this polio. Our government remains committed to protecting the health and the well-being of our children.
In his remarks, the Executive Secretary of the State Primary Healthcare Management Board, Professor Kinikawo Green, announced that thousands of children have already been vaccinated across the state, including in remote areas, to ensure there is no resurgence of the polio virus. Professor Green reiterated that the vaccine is completely safe and has no side effects, urging parents and caregivers to cooperate with immunization teams as they come to schools, worship centers, and homes.
Thousands of children in the nooks and crannies of River State have been vaccinated. We have teams going from house to house, from church to church, from mosque to mosque, from market to market, ensuring that those two very important drops of the OPV are received by our children. And please, if you have a friend, if you have a sister who for one reason or the other thinks that vaccination causes sterility or vaccination will make your child not to reproduce, please tell them that the vaccines are safe.
Polio is a serious disease caused by the polio virus, which can lead to paralysis, especially in young children, and vaccination is the most effective way to prevent its spread. You are listening to the World News on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. After the break, more news, foreign and sports stories. Stay with us.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Welcome back and thank you for staying tuned. The president of the Ugbele Youth Development Association, OYDA, in Ahoda East local government area of River State, Joe Augustus Nwudulu, has felicitated with His Imperial Majesty Eze Kelvin Anugbo, the Eze Ekpeyelogbo III, on the occasion of his 3-year anniversary on the throne as the supreme monarch of Ekpeye ethnic nationality. Augustus Nwudulu also used the opportunity to thank the Eze Igboako II, His Majesty Eze Cassidy Ikegbidi, and His Royal Highness Eze Prince Ike Ehie Iyodu Igbo Olukwo II for their roles in ensuring that peace is returned to Ekpeye, especially during the Ugbele youth election. Joe Augustus Nwudulu, in a statement by his chief press secretary, Akubuike Marvin, the OIGA president, prayed for more wisdom and strength for the monarchs in upholding the principles of fairness, equity, and justice, in piloting affairs, and prioritizing the people's welfare. The president of the Ogbele Youth Development Association said within the 3-year period of the administration as the supreme monarch, the traditional institutions of Ahoda had witnessed tremendous stronghold, which puts Ekpeye in line of development. Joe Augustus Nwudulu also noted that the efforts of the monarchs towards developing Ekpeye land were of high recommendation and commended especially the Eze Ekpeye Logbo III for the impactful 3 years being marked with significant achievements that have advanced the Ekpeye ethnic nation. The annual conference of the River State Chapter of Science Teachers Association of Nigeria, STAN, has been scheduled to hold on Tuesday, 6th May 2025 at the Government Girls Secondary School, Rumokuta. STAN chairman Peter Wago, in a statement, said the 2-day event, which begins at 10 a.m. each day, has the theme Contemporary Issues in the Use of Artificial Intelligence as Tools in STEM Education, will feature discussions, paper presentations, while seasoned academics and other notable personalities drawn from the Ministry of Education, Schools Board, and tertiary institutions will grace the occasion. The statement also noted that sub-themes of the event included challenges of using artificial intelligence in science, STEM education, the prospects, opportunities, and benefits of using artificial intelligence as a tool in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education. According to the statement, the keynote speaker will be Professor Esther Fonsi from the University of Port Harcourt, while the special guest of honor is the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education. While calling on all science teachers in the state public schools to attend, the STAN chairman, however, added that awards of honor will be presented to deserving individuals. On the foreign scene, top United Nations Court has thrown out Sudan's case against the United Arab Emirates over alleged complicity in genocide during the brutal Sudanese civil war. Sudan had taken the UAE to the International Court of Justice, saying its alleged support for the Paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF, was contributing to a genocide. Accusations strongly denied by the Emiratis. But the ICJ said it manifestly lacked jurisdiction to rule on the case and threw out the matter. Before the ruling, Deputy Assistant Minister for Political Affairs at the UAE Foreign Ministry, Rim Kitait, had accused Sudan of lodging the case in a cynical attempt to divert attention from their own brutal record of atrocities against Sudanese civilians. Since April 2023, Sudan has been torn apart by a power struggle between Army Chief Abdel al-Burhan and the commander of the Paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF, Mohamed Dagalo. The war has triggered what aid agencies describe as the world's largest displacement and hunger crisis. In sports, Rangers assistant coach A.K. Kennedy Lichuku has described their President Federation Cup quarter-final opponents, Plateau United, as a tactical and technical side. The Flying Antelopes defeated Plateau United 1-0 in a fiercely contested match in Abuja on Saturday. Rangers booked their place in the semi-final of the competition following the win, where they will face Kwara United. Ekene Dilichukwu said the team will continue to fight till the end of the competition. It can be recalled that Rangers defeated Plateau United in their previous semi-final outing in 2023. Rangers lost to Bendel Insurance in the final of the competition that year. In the world of entertainment, jury selection has commenced in New York in the blockbuster federal sex trafficking trial of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, who stands accused of years of harrowing abuse. The 55-year-old has pleaded not guilty on all counts, insisting that any sex acts were consensual. But prosecutors say for years he coerced victims into drug-fueled sex parties using threats and violence. At a recent hearing, his attorney, Mark Agnifilo, offered a preview of his team's defense by describing the artist's freewheeling swinger lifestyle. The prosecution said it had offered Combs a plea deal. The specifics were not disclosed, but that he had rejected it. Combs faces one charge of racketeering conspiracy, the federal statute known by its acronym RICO, that was once primarily used to target the mafia, but in recent years has been wielded in cases of sexual abuse, including against the fallen R&B star R. Kelly. It allows government attorneys to project a long view of criminal activity rather than prosecuting isolated sex crimes. If convicted, the one-time rap producer and global superstar, who is often credited for his role in ushering hip-hop into the mainstream, could spend the rest of his life in prison. To end the news, here is a summary of the major stories. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has lauded President Bola Tinubu's approval of $1 billion for rural electrification. A high court in Abuja has ordered the EFCC to pay the required fees for the certification of its exhibit in the trial of former Aviation Minister Hadi Sirika. We told you that the River State government has launched its first round of the 2025 campaign for polio vaccination, and on the foreign scene you heard that the International Court of Justice has dismissed Sudan's genocide case against the UAE. Stella Sasongo Okorie edited the news. For comments and inquiries, please call 0818-389-2850. Send your emails to news@todayfmlive.com. Read our stories on www.todayfmlive.com. I am Amaka Felix. Thank you for listening. Good evening.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Say no to the ordinary. Embrace the extraordinary, because we are the voice of the people. Today 95.1 FM.
Today 95.1 FM.
What's a successful business without sales? And what is sales without an audience? Well, do you know that you can reach 8 million listeners across 6 states in 2 geopolitical zones all at once? How? With Today 95.1 FM, you can get millions of people to know about your business. And what does that mean to you? More sales. Call 081 389 2850 now for more information.
Some people will carry human head in their boots and they will not search them because they are collecting bribe.
When they go collect salary, then go say government need to pay them way. All these taxi drivers safe. They don't even get papers. Even driver's license safe, they no get.
Hey, you back there. Hold on there.
Their cars are in bad shape, very, very bad shape. They have no ethics of driving. That is why they will continue to bribe so that they can have their way.
I will shoot you now. I will shoot you. Headlight, you no get. Side mirror, you no get. Motorway to carry animal. Now you take put for road to carry human being. You don't even wind the motor when rain they fall. You no get conscience at all. Take, you be number 15. You be number 5. More than no forget on a number.
Let's allow them to do their job.
Do not obstruct justice by giving or taking bribe. Avail yourself a check. Even you, Oga driver, stop reckless driving and always update your papers. This information
is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM,
Voice of the People.
your premium talk news and sports radio station, Today 95.1 FM. The news update on the headlines. Police confirms attack by hoodlums in a community last night, leaving few dead and many injured.
No. I don't want to kill again. I don't tire. If I may ask, these are Baba, where their children they safe. If not good thing, they don't involve their children for this kind of matter. Me, I don't want to carry gun again. I don't tire. I know they carry gun again. Don't be by force. Make their children can't carry the gun.
Enough is enough. How long are we going to blame our government? We must agree to have a healthy society, a society that protects the weak while creating opportunities for the strong. Together, we can make this work. Let's give peace a chance. This information is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Bunkering is a legal act of smuggling crude oil from pipelines and storage facilities, which poses significant dangers to Nigerian society. This activity has different consequences that affect various aspects of the nation's well-being, and it has consequences such as untimely death, environmental devastation. It fuels insecurity. It also damages our infrastructure, and it also damages our international prestige. You might say, how do we make a living if we stop this illegal activity? Well, as a young individual, you can channel your energy into positive endeavors that can help you generate income and create an adequate future for yourself. These are some ideas to help you generate income. You can go into starting a business. You can also acquire digital skills or gain agricultural knowledge or engage in farming. You can also acquire art and creativity. You talk about technology and innovation. Then, skills and vocational training. Please note that success often requires dedication, consistency, and continuous learning. This message is brought to you by your premium talk radio, Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
You may not realize it, but do you know you can always show your love for others with simple gestures? Here are some of them. Always look for the good in people. There are two sides to every story. We have our good and bad sides. So, look for the good in people. Focus on people's potential. Everyone has potential. So, rather than put them down, help them realize it. Choose to love. If you're given an option between giving love and receiving love, choose giving because that is a more practical choice. Treat everyone as equals. This means letting go of all the prejudice and partiality. See people for who they really are, not their jobs, not their apparels or bank accounts. If everyone does this, then the world will be a better place. Love yourself. You cannot give what you don't have. So, before you try to love other people, love yourself first. Forgive. We all make mistakes. So, whether it's a family or a stranger, the best way of showing love is forgiveness. Everyone deserves a second chance. Show compassion. Care for other people. Care for what they are going through. Do what you can to help. Give back to the community. Remember that a single drop of water can cause countless ripples. That donation, no matter how small, can inspire others to do the same. Smile, even to strangers. Remember that you're never fully dressed without a smile. So, do not underestimate the power of a smile. Not only does it lighten up your face, it will also brighten up another person's day. Be the spark of positivity you want to see. When you smile, the whole world smiles with you. This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
See, ma tell you, that man na ritualist.
You don't ever see as that man dressed like normal human being before. Every time na black, blue. That man na ritualist.
Just leave them. Now so those people will come from that place. Now so them behave.
You see this our neighbor. You see that fair guy where they always they carry laptop up and down. If you observe, you know they go work in the morning, but every time you go they change car. But I don't they observe and since.
I know they do.
Now for you.
But me I know say, people where they come from that area. Now so all of them they behave. You know get with anybody fit tell me. Nine drunk.
What is it with all the hate and the way we talk? Hate speech does no one any good. It only makes a bad situation worse. The aim is to stir more hate and anger rather than bring us together. All they want is to set you against your neighbor or even your brother. Will you let them? Hate speech is not just criminal, it is intended to destroy you. Shun hate speech. No one truly benefits. A message from Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Turn the dial and turn up the thrill. We are not in the same league. We are rewriting the rules. Here on Today 95.1 FM.
We talk, you listen.
This is Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt, voice of the people. It is time again for a rundown of the foreign news that made the headlines on the world today. I am Amaka Felix. In the headlines, recent court ruling and resignations rock South Korean presidential race. Trump denies considering running third term. Police in England arrest 8 people in 2 separate anti-terror operations, and Israel reports missile launch from Yemen. Details in a bit. The Sudanese army says a drone attack launched by the Paramilitary Rapid Support Forces (RSF) struck a military airport in the city of Port Sudan today. It marks the first time RSF attacks have reached the city, the de facto capital of Sudan's military-led government, since the conflict between the warring factions erupted 2 years ago. Sudanese army spokesperson Nabil Abdullah said the RSF had launched several suicide drones at the eastern Red Sea port city, targeting the Osman Digna Air Base, a goods warehouse and some civilian facilities. Abdullah said no injuries had been reported, but the attack had caused limited damage. The RSF has not commented on the incident. Sudan plunged into conflict in April 2023 when a vicious power struggle broke out between the Sudanese Armed Forces, SAF, and RSF, a powerful paramilitary group, ahead of a planned transition to civilian rule. Iran has rejected accusations of its rumors of being behind attacks by Houthi rebels, calling them baseless. Speaking at a regular briefing, Foreign Ministry spokesman Ismail Baghei said a recent attack by the group against Israel was an independent decision. A missile launched by the Iranian-backed rebels in Yemen briefly halted flights and commuter traffic at Israel's main international airport after its impact near an access road caused panic among passengers. The attack on Ben Gurion International Airport came hours before Israeli cabinet ministers were set to vote on whether to intensify military operations in Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the U.S. was supporting Israeli operations against the Houthis. The East African country's Foreign Affairs Minister Olivier Nduhungirehe has said that Rwanda is in the early stage of talks with the Trump administration to accept migrants deported by the U.S. Olivier comments came after U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said last month that Washington was actively searching for countries that would take in some of the most despicable human beings. He added that the talks were not new to them, as Rwanda had previously agreed to accept migrants deported by the UK. However, the UK abandoned the scheme, which faced numerous legal changes after a new government took office last July. Speaking to newsmen, he said the government was in the spirit of giving another chance to migrants who have problems across the world. Now to the rest of the world. Israeli authorities have revealed that a missile fired from Yemen landed near the main terminal of Israel's Ben Gurion airport today morning. Unverified footage posted online appeared to show drivers on a road nearby pulled over to take cover as a projectile lands, creating a plume of black smoke near the airport, which is on the outskirts of Tel Aviv. 4 people were injured due to the blast, with another 2 injured on their way to a shelter. Israel's Defense Minister Israel Katz said in a statement that anyone who hits them, the country will hit them 7 times stronger. Houthi military spokesperson Yahya Sari said in a televised statement that the Israeli airport was no longer safe for air travel, but the airport has now reopened to flights after temporarily halting them. Sirens were activated in several parts of the country as the missile approached, and the Israeli Air Force said it was investigating the failure to intercept it. The Houthis, an Iran-backed rebel group based in Yemen, have regularly launched missile attacks at Israel in solidarity with Hamas in Gaza, but it is rare for one to make it through Israel's air defenses. Romanians are trying again to elect a new president, 6 months after the first attempt ended in scandal and confusion. A radical outsider with spiritual leanings, Calin Georgescu, came first on November 24, but that result was annulled over allegations of campaign fraud and Russian interference. In February, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance sharply criticized Romania for that decision, sending shockwaves through a Romanian political establishment, which leans heavily on its special relationship with the U.S. Georgescu was nevertheless barred from taking part in today's rerun. This election pits a nationalist, George Simeon, leader of the Alliance for the Union of Romanians, against 3 centrists, the popular mayor of Bucharest, Nicu Sordan, Crin Antonescu, a liberal who represents the governing Social Democrats and National Liberal Coalition, and Elena Lasconi, an independent. 7 other candidates are on the ballot paper. If no candidate wins over 50% of the vote, a runoff between the first 2 candidates will be held on 18 May. President Vladimir Putin has said in his remarks that Russia had sufficient strength and resources to take the war in Ukraine to its logical conclusion, though he hoped that there would be no need to use nuclear weapons. Putin ordered thousands of Russian troops into Ukraine in February 2022, triggering Europe's biggest ground conflict since World War II, and the largest confrontation between Moscow and the West since the depths of the Cold War. Hundreds of thousands of soldiers have been killed or injured, and US President Donald Trump has repeatedly said he wants to end the bloodbath that his administration casts as a proxy war between the United States and Russia. In a film by state television about Putin's quarter of a century as Russia's paramount leader, titled Russia, Kremlin, Putin, 25 Years, Putin was asked by a reporter about the risk of nuclear escalation from the Ukraine war. Trump has been signaling for weeks that he is frustrated by the failure of Moscow and Kyiv to reach terms to end the war, though the Kremlin has said that the conflict is so complicated that the rapid progress Washington wants is difficult. Dozens of protesters has marched up the hills of Haiti's capital, demanding an end to persistent gang violence as they called on the country's prime minister and transitional presidential council to resign. Report shows that Haitians has grown increasingly angry and frustrated over a surge in violence as gangs try to seize full control of Port-au-Prince. Hip-hop singer and demonstrator Stevenson Ortiz, known as Atros, stated that there is need for security, food, and a place to sleep, including healthcare. Ortiz added that the demonstration comes a day after hundreds of people gathered in the capital, Port-au-Prince, to honor several community leaders killed in recent clashes with gangs. The demonstration and recent protests were organized to decry the country's spiraling crisis, with more than 1,600 people killed and another 580 injured from January to March. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to retaliate against the Houthis after a missile fired by the group struck the grounds of Israel's main airport. In a video posted on social media, Netanyahu threatened strikes against the group, saying they attacked in the past, they will attack in the future. The missile, fired from Yemen by the Iran-backed group, landed near the main terminal of Ben Gurion Airport today morning, according to Israeli authorities. 4 people were injured by the blast. South Korea's top court has cast doubt on frontrunner Lee Jae-myung's eligibility to run in next month's snap presidential election, while the resignations of the Prime Minister and Finance Minister shook the interim government in place since the December's martial law. Education Minister Lee Joo-ho took over as acting president, the third since the martial law decree, in advance of the June 3 snap election. The vote was called after the Constitutional Court removed former President Yoon Suk-yeol from office over his brief martial law attempt. That race was rocked by a Supreme Court ruling that could threaten the candidacy of former opposition party leader Lee Jae-myung, who has dominated opinion polls. The Supreme Court overturned an earlier ruling that had cleared Lee, saying he had violated election law by publicly making false statements during his 2022 presidential bid. It sent the case back to the appeals court and ordered it to issue a sentence which could bar Lee from running for office for up to 5 years. South Korea has been led by a rotating cast of acting presidents since Yoon was impeached on December 14, hampering efforts to steer Asia's 4th largest economy through the choppy waters of U.S. tariffs. United States President Donald Trump has claimed that Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum refused an offer to send U.S. troops to the Latin American country due to her fear of drug cartels. Trump confirmed that he had suggested sending U.S. troops to Mexico to combat drug trafficking, a day after Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum said her country's sovereignty was not for sale. The Mexican president disclosed how she had told the U.S. president that her country would never accept the presence of U.S. troops on its territory. Sheinbaum made her comments after the Wall Street Journal, citing unnamed sources, reported that the Trump administration was pressuring her government to allow deeper U.S. military involvement in the fight against Mexican drug cartels. Trump has often accused Mexico of not doing enough to halt the flow of fentanyl and other illicit drugs across the U.S. southern border. In one of his first wide-ranging trade war, Trump in February announced that he would impose across-the-board 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada over what he said was their failure to crack down on the influx of drugs and undocumented migrants. U.S. President Donald Trump has denied that he is considering running for a third presidential term, a move which experts agree is banned under the U.S. Constitution. Trump has previously said that he was not joking about wanting to serve a third or even fourth term as U.S. president. He later said his statements were meant to troll the fake news media. His company, the Trump Organization, has been selling Trump 2028 hats, fueling armchair speculation that he may seek to remain in office after his second term ends in January 2029. 8 men, including 7 Iranian nationals, have been arrested in 2 separate counter-terrorism police investigations. 5 were arrested at various locations around England yesterday as part of a pre-planned investigation into a plot to target a specific premise. 4, 2 aged 29, 1 aged 40, and 1 aged 46 are Iranian nationals. Police said the nationality and age of the 5th was still being established. 3 other men, all Iranian, were arrested in London yesterday as part of a separate investigation led by the Met's Counter-Terrorism Command. Police said the 2 operations were not connected. That story from UK concludes tonight's edition of The World Today, as produced by Treasure Onodu of the News Department. Before we go, here's a summary of the stories that made the headline. Recent court ruling and resignations rock South Korean presidential race. Trump has denied consideration in running for a third term. You heard that police in England have arrested 8 people in 2 separate anti-terror operations. And finally, Israel has reported missile launch from Yemen. Till same time tomorrow, to have a lovely weekend, and thank you for listening.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Unleash the power of the airwaves with the ultimate radio experience. Tune in to Today 95.1 FM, the voice of people. Don't just listen, immerse yourself.
That is 100% true.
BBC World Service. I'm Charles Gitonga in Nairobi with Focus on Africa. Why is Seychelles now seen as dropping in the World Press Freedom Ranking?
Right now, there is quite a lot of uncertainty, especially in relation to what recently happened with the former editor of Today in Seychelles.
The government disagrees. Ugandan judge sentenced to more than 6 years in prison for keeping a housekeeper as a slave. Are such cases common?
These cases are very rampant in Uganda, I must say, despite the fact that they are not reported, most of them, but they do occur in people's homesteads.
And we meet Princess Oluwademisi Oki, the woman behind a movement of female tricycle riders in Nigeria's Ondo State. That's all on the BBC Tonight in Focus. First, the news.
BBC News with Sue Montgomery. There's been criticism in Israel and overseas of a plan approved by the country's security cabinet to greatly expand military described as the conquest of the territory. The EU says it fears it could lead to more casualties and suffering for Gaza's civilian population. A group representing the families of hostages accused the Israeli government of choosing territory over the lives of their loved ones. The Norwegian Refugee Council's Jan Egeland criticised a proposal to hand over the distribution of aid in Gaza to private companies.
We were hoping that now we would again have access to a starving civilian population. But what we heard from the Israelis is that they will militarize, manipulate, politicize the aid. It's a completely inoperable system that would force people to move to get aid, and it would continue starvation of the civilian population.
The European Union has launched a major campaign to attract foreign scientists, hoping to lure Americans disaffected by Donald Trump's attacks in universities. President Trump has slashed funding for research programs. He's also threatened to remove some universities' grants completely unless they tackle student activism and end diversity programs. The President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, said it was time to take action.
We see today that the role of science in today's world is questioned. The investment in fundamental, free and open research is questioned. What a gigantic miscalculation. I believe that science holds the key for our future here in Europe. Without it, we simply cannot address today's global challenges.
3 policemen have been shot dead in the southern Russian Republic of Dagestan. The authorities say they were trying to pull over a car when the occupants opened fire. A subsequent shootout left 2 gunmen dead. A bodyguard for the Ugandan opposition politician Bobi Wine has been charged with aggravated robbery, days after the head of the military said he had abducted him. Eddie Mudwe's lawyer said his client had been tortured. Here's Will Ross.
Ugandan security operatives tried to shield Eddie Mutwe and prevent the media seeing him as he was brought to court. But videos showed Bobi Wine's bodyguard barefoot and hardly able to walk. His lawyer says his client was beaten all over the body and was given electric shocks whilst in military custody. Last week, President Yoweri Museveni's son, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, posted on social media that he'd detained Eddie Mutwe. The army chief said he'd been shaved and that he planned to castrate him. It's unlikely to be a coincidence that Uganda's elections are a few months away.
World News from the BBC. The trial of the American rapper and producer Sean Diddy Combs is starting at a Manhattan courthouse with the selection of a jury. The musician is facing charges of sex trafficking and prostitution. Dozens of victims came forward after Mr. Combs' former girlfriend filed a lawsuit against him in September 2023. He has denied all the charges. The UN's top court has dismissed Sudan's high-profile case against the United Arab Emirates, in which it accused the UAE of complicity in genocide. Sudan accused the Gulf nation of supporting the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces in Sudan's civil war. Anna Holligan reports from The Hague.
The judges ruled that the case against the UAE could not proceed as the country had opted out of a clause of the Genocide Convention. This means that it cannot be sued by other states at the International Court of Justice over genocide allegations. Last month, Sudan claimed that the UAE's alleged military, financial and logistical backing of the RSF enabled systematic attacks against non-Arab communities. The UAE categorically denied the accusations, branding the case political theatre and a cynical publicity stunt intended to distract from Sudan's own failures to end the war.
Flash floods in Jordan have killed a Belgian tourist and her son. They went missing in Shobak district in southern Jordan during sudden heavy rainfall on Sunday. Nearly 2,000 tourists were evacuated from the Petra archaeological site nearby. Large crowds have thronged the Mall in central London to watch a military parade and fly past, marking the 80th anniversary of the end of the Second World War in Europe. The events begin 4 days of commemorations across the UK. Forces from Britain, NATO, the Commonwealth and Ukraine march from Parliament Square to Buckingham Palace. BBC News.
Hello, I'm Charles Gitonga and here's what's coming up for you on this edition of Focus on Africa. Once seen as a bastion of democracy, why is Seychelles dropping in the World Press Freedom Rankings? United Nations judge from Uganda sentenced to more than 6 years in prison for committing modern slavery offenses in the UK. What's the reaction in Uganda?
Most people are just sympathetic with the judge for what has befell her, but it also should act as a lesson to those of us that those that are trampling upon the rights of these workers in the home states can also be taken into courts of law and they will be judged likewise.
And we meet Princess Oluwayenisi Oki, the woman behind a movement of female tricycle riders in Nigeria's Ondo state.
You know, some women that didn't know how to drive, so when they saw me riding the keke, they learned it as well as I began. Later on, with the many, so we form a group. So when we form a group, we look after for each other, then we provide some assistance.
It's Monday, the 5th of May. We begin with some troubling news about the state of press freedom across Africa. The latest World Press Freedom Index paints a worrying picture, with Uganda, Ethiopia and Rwanda ranked near the bottom due to the increasingly difficult conditions facing journalists in those countries. But it's not all bleak. There are some bright spots too. South Africa, Namibia, Cape Verde and Gabon are among the highest-ranked African nations for media freedom. Now, let's zoom in on one country that has traditionally performed well, the Seychelles. Long seen as a model for press freedom in the region, that reputation is now under scrutiny. According to the global media watchdog, Reporters Without Borders, Seychelles has dropped more than 20 places in the ranking in the past 2 years. Just last month, Vel Munien, an editor at a local publication, was reportedly sacked and forced to leave the country. He sent us this voice note from his home in Mauritius.
So I was sacked for gross misconduct. I was accused of trying to force the journalist to ask for overtime, which is quite unfair. From time to time I would a call telling me X wasn't happy with the title, Y wasn't happy with the caption, and Z wasn't happy with the article. The government decided not to keep adverts. The government decided to boycott the paper, and the management decided to back up the president's claims. Because I was asked whether I wanted to stay more, I said yes, and then the MD told me, the president will block your work permit. And I said, how can he do it? For me, what I wanted at the end of the day was to finish that job and go back to Mauritius.
That's Vel Munien giving his version of events. Joanna Nisette is the vice chair of the Association for Media Practitioners in the Seychelles. She has been closely following the state of media freedom in the country.
There is quite a lot of uncertainty, especially in relation to what recently happened with the former editor of Today in Seychelles.
Would you say that, there's a decline in press freedom in the Seychelles?
I'll just cite a couple of events that happened over the last 12 months. Last year, a journalist had his phone confiscated when he took a photograph of a silent protest taking place outside the police headquarters. In some press conferences, journalists were outrightly bullied. My worst experience was probably in 2020, where the president really died. I went there to cover the funeral, and the whole political party intimidated me, tried to stop me from doing my work, and the police pushed me out of the stadium. We expected things to be better.
Except things don't seem to have gotten better despite President Weibo Ramkalawan decriminalizing defamation in his first year of office when he became president in 2020. But at the time when he did it, many saw it as a big win for press freedom in the country.
And that was like a huge plus for media freedom. Journalists could work without having the worry of all these millions being asked of us. See? But for now, our ranking shot up. But then it's gone back down now, so it's sliding. It's not what everybody thinks it is.
Now back to Vel Munien, who says growing political interference is a key concern in Seychelles. He says relations between the government and the media have worsened in recent years.
Since day one, I was accused of trying to bring down the government, from what the president said to the managing director. So from time to time, she told me that I would be deported. I said, how can he deport me when I'm not into drugs? From time to time, I was told that the president wasn't happy. a minister called me to insult me on the phone, and I had to send him a letter of excuse because I asked a question in an interview which pertained to the driver of the minister. So the minister wasn't happy. Some journalists told me in Seychelles, you have to be selective in the way you do your news.
So, Joanna, let me ask you, what do you think is happening in the country that you can say is the reason why journalists are not able to do their work?
There is an election, both for the presidency and for the National Assembly. And to all intents and purposes, it's going to be a very, very tight race, or could actually become a landslide for the opposition. So I think it's the elections that are putting pressure on everything. The journalist asked the president the question, he goes, "You've gone too far now." You know, he probably doesn't realize the impact of what he said.
So when the president tells a journalist, like you're saying, that you've gone too far during a questioning session, do you feel that somehow sends a message to the people that work under the president that they are somehow to do something about the comments of the president?
You find it's harder to get ministries to cooperate with you on issues unless they have asked you to come up and cover their sins. And in some cases, some media houses are actually barred from certain activities. Like the presidential press conference, the independent newspaper is barred from there. When this happens from the highest level of the state, obviously others will follow suit.
So before I let you go, what do you think needs to happen to protect press freedoms in the Seychelles?
In 2020, when President Faure was around, we had the most freedom. We could stand up in a press conference and question him about anything and everything. He might not answer, but there was no repercussion. So we all need to sit down and find common ground. Thank you very much.
Wish you all the best. I hope it all improves. Thank you.
Don't worry, I survived. Bye-bye.
Many thanks to Joanna Nisset, Vice Chair of the Association of Media Practitioners. We contacted the authorities in the Seychelles regarding the allegations. The country's Vice President, Ahmed Afif, responded in a statement saying,
Seychelles remains committed to openness and free and fair reporting with responsibility at all levels. I must say that in my view, this does not represent the reality of press freedom in Seychelles except for the views of a small group of people who are in contact with Reporters Without Frontiers, and this ranking does not represent our true situation today, where people more than ever before are free to voice themselves freely without fear. There is no control on media houses, including state-funded media houses.
A statement from Seychelles Vice President Ahmed Afif. It's not every day that an interpreter of the law is subjected to punishment under the law. However, last week, Lydia Mugambe, a United Nations judge who is also a High Court judge in Uganda, was jailed for more than 6 years in the UK. In March, Lady Justice Mugambe was found guilty of modern slavery offenses for forcing a young woman who she had brought in from Uganda to carry out unpaid work as a maid and nanny. She was also convicted of intimidating a witness and other offenses. Police in the UK released a video showing the moment she was arrested.
If anything you do say may be used as evidence, all right? Sorry?
I am a judge in my country. I even have immunity. I am not a criminal.
You've got immunity in this country?
Yes. I have a diplomatic passport.
You're a diplomat?
Yes.
So we'll need to see that then.
Yes.
And then we'll need to speak to the embassy if you are a diplomat.
I came here as a student. I don't need to work for me. I didn't come with her. She asked me because she has worked at my home before. She asked me.
Ever since she was convicted, social media and the airwaves in Uganda have been inundated with discussion about the matter. Many of those commenting are expressing sympathy with the judge, with the practice of getting house helps for little or no pay being common in Uganda. For a better perspective, I spoke to the General Secretary of HTS Union in Kampala, Richard Moses Mauku.
This case came as a surprise to many people, especially against the person who is a judge. In Uganda, per se, we do not have a law on modern slavery. While it is apparent that in the UK, you have the Anti-Slavery Act of 2015, in Uganda we don't have a separate or deliberate law on slavery, modern slavery. But what I can say is that there were mistakes committed by the judge in the manner in which she employed the domestic worker and also in the manner in which she was treating her. And what made it worse was the statement that she made in court that she was only doing it to assist or help the domestic worker get opportunities.
Is that something that happens a lot in Uganda, where you can't be employed, quote unquote, in a homestead to work, maybe a relative or not, but the circumstances of work or even compensation are not clear, and perhaps those kind of cases will get overlooked in Uganda because you say there is no law on modern slavery?
Well, these cases are very rampant in Uganda, I must say, despite the fact that they are not reported, most of them, but they do occur in people's homesteads. The culture in Uganda is such that when one person is able to work in a city, this person can bring up a relative, and the relative offers services as a domestic worker, but sometimes not paid. Because many of the persons who employ domestic workers actually do not follow the laws in Uganda. 99% of domestic workers don't get contracts signed up. They merely work and they are given a pay, but they don't have contracts. Despite the fact that, on the other hand, the Employment Act also provides that it is also permissible for one to work on a verbal contract. We have both written and verbal. So all these facts of the law could have been missing in the case of the judge who was convicted. Many of the domestic workers have no contracts which are meant to be written to them. It's one of the things that we are trying to champion, to try and popularize the fact that these domestic workers must be given written contracts that specify the terms and conditions under which they work.
Is it almost like a culture? Is it acceptable that someone can come and work for you and it's not on contract?
I must say that the practice in Uganda, it is a culture inculcated even in formal employment. There are so many employees in formal employment who are not given contracts by their employers. And given that we have a generally weak labor administration, we don't have enough inspectors in the Ministry of Labor, nobody is following up on these laws. And it's like okay with government because at least people have somewhere to go and work, while their rights are not being observed by those that employ them.
What's the reaction then to the conviction? What are people in Uganda saying about this?
Most people are just sympathetic with the judge for what has befallen her, but it also should act as a lesson to those of us that those that are trampling upon the rights of these workers in their homesteads can also be taken into courts of law and they will be judged likewise, because even here the Employment Act, the Labor Unions Act, and the other laws are clear about some of these situations, much as they do not talk precisely about modern slavery.
Could you talk to us about that, what the law says in Uganda?
The Employment Act per se, which is the main employment law, it provides for very many rights from the time the person gets into employment, the time the person lives within employment, and the time this person should be seen to be leaving employment. Those are the three stages through which any working person walks through: entry, stay, and exit. And the laws cover for all those situations. They cover for how people get into employment, they cover for probationary period, the laws cover for if somebody is under probation, what are the terms and conditions in terms of termination of contracts during probation. It still gives this employee an obligation and a right. An obligation, if it is him or her wishing to terminate the contract during probation, must give a 7 days notice to the employer, and if it is the employer, should give the employee 7 days notice or pay the employee in lieu of that notice. Then when somebody is in employment, there are laws that talk about the right to a day's rest in a week, that is 1 day off duty, and the number of hours of work somebody is supposed to perform. In formal employment, it should be 8 hours per day, and any hours worked in excess of 8 should be considered as overtime. And also the right to rest on public holidays, and if you are seen to work on a public holiday, then you should be paid twice.
Mauku Richard Moses, the General Secretary of HTS Union. This is Focus on Africa from the BBC World Service. On the streets of Akure, the capital of Nigeria's Ondo State, something remarkable is happening. More and more women are taking up jobs as commercial tricycle riders, locally known as Keke Marua or Keke Napep, and I don't need to tell you that this is a space that was once completely dominated by men. Both passengers and male colleagues looked down on women who dared to take the wheel. But with the rising cost of living and growing unemployment, necessity is changing perceptions. These women are not only putting food on the table, but also challenging deep-seated gender roles in public transport. At the heart of this quiet revolution is Princess Oluwayemisi Oki, a pioneering female commercial tricycle rider in the city. She began her journey a decade ago. Since then, she has founded an association of women riders, offering support, training, and a strong sense of community to others eager to follow in her footsteps. Princess told me about what it was like when she first stepped into the world of tricycle riding.
So I never share it with anybody of my family or my friends or whatever. They just saw me doing it. And everybody was amazing. Ah, Princess, how come? Princess, how come? They find it funny, but to me, I find it easier. So I find my joy on it. And I want to make the purpose why God sent me to do it to fulfill.
You had not seen a woman riding a Keke Marua before. It was so unfamiliar, let me say. And I would think when you started then riding, you would ride among men. You know, some of the colleagues, people you met in the business were men. What did they think?
Yes. Although initially when I said I wanted to train for Keke rider, they couldn't believe me. So I changed everybody's motive. Then there was a man among of those people, he gave me one name, Okanlawon.
What does it mean?
The one out of four, the only female out of me that is riding Keke then.
So did they try to discourage you?
There are many that frustrated me by their character. So they don't even want to give me any chance. But I just stay focused to what I've determined.
And what about the passengers? When they show up and they find out it's you, it's a woman that's going to be riding them to whatever destination, what's the reaction you get?
Passengers, some are very interested. Some, they won't like it. Some will even say, then we say it in our language here, say, may your shubu. I won't let her fall me down. I have to run, she's a woman. Woman cannot know how to drive it. So some will reject me, while some will embrace me. Some will even stand and waited for me till I will drop some passenger and came back to carry them. But some will discourage me. Some will even say, look at this fine woman that is riding this keke. Is she not have an husband? Nothing have made her to be decided riding a keke. So, series of discouraging words. But nevertheless, thank God today for my life today. I never give up.
Female riders are now an increasingly common sight on the streets of Akure, and Sunday Aditu, the deputy chairman of the local Keke Marua Association, believes this is a positive change.
In the past, there were like 2 or 3 women driving Keke Marua, but today there are many. We don't blame them for wanting to work because of how the country is right now. So we thank God for the women and how they work with us.
There are also some passengers who feel a sense of safety when they have a woman in the driver's seat.
I feel at ease when I ride with a female tricycle driver because they are calm, unlike the men who speed and drive recklessly.
They drive gently. They're not like men who are rough drivers. You know, male drivers can have a lot on their minds. Women are more careful.
Now I continued my conversation with Princess, who told me about how she started an association of women riders.
Some women that didn't know how to drive, so when they saw me riding the keke, they learned it as well as I began. Later on, we'll be many. So we form a group. So when we form a group, we look after for each other. Then we provide some assistance. So I normally check their welfare. I will be the number one to call whatever happens. We are even more than 100 now.
I'm wondering if people now view women that are riding these tricycles differently now that there's many more of you doing it.
You know, their reaction now is giving us more joyous. It's making us happy. They are encouraging us.
Yes, and what kind of help do you want?
We need more tricycles. So many of us doesn't have our own tricycle. We have to go for some mentally rate, which is more costlier. So it's not easier for us. At least if the government can even help us, not even for free. Maybe they should buy it as the rate they buy it, they just give it, okay, pay this also a month. You know, that one will even give us a more settle of mind.
Tell me how you feel when nowadays you see a lot more women riding tricycles, remembering that you were perhaps one of the early adopters. You know, you started doing it when you couldn't see any other woman doing it, but now you look around and you can see them. How does that make you feel?
Oh my goodness God, I'm overwhelmed. You know, we'll be able now to put food on table for our kids. We don't beg for food. We only eat through our handwork. So my joy is full now. I'm more happiest, I can say, more than when it is me alone then.
Princess Oluwayemisi Oki, the pioneering female commercial tricycle rider. Focus on Africa was produced by Richard Kagoe and Frenny Joey in Nairobi, with Tom Kavanagh and Bella Hassan in London. Paul Bachidingo is the senior producer, and Johnny Hall the technical producer. Andrea Lombard and Alice Muvenji are our editors. I'm Charles Ntonga. Goodbye for now.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Turn the down and turn up the thrill. We are not in the same league. We are right in the rules. Here on Today 95.1 FM.
We talk, you listen.
Tiny Temper, Ishi, Kelly Rowland, let's go.
Invincible, 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 invincible. We're invincible.
Yeah, they said we shouldn't. They said we wouldn't. Look where we are. We've done what they thought we couldn't. As bad as the odds were looking, push, yeah, we kept on pushing. And every time I nearly hit the ground, you were my cushion. They me, let me reassure you.
No matter where we are, no matter just how far our paths may lead, we don't need no shields, 'cause love is the armor that we need. We're invincible, invincible, invincible. Love's our protector. We're invincible, invincible, invincible. We're invincible.
Swim me against the world. They can't stop us now. We've come too far. We've worked too hard. We're invincible. Forever.
No matter where we are, no matter just how far our paths may lead, we're invincible. No matter where we are, no matter just how far our paths may lead, we don't need no shields, 'cause love is the armor that we need. We're invincible, invincible, invincible. Love's our protector. We're invincible, invincible, invincible. We're invincible.
Looks like we made it. Look how far we've come, my baby. You might have took the long way, but we knew we'd get there someday. JC, I mean, you'll never make it, but just look at us holding on. We're still together, we're still going strong. It's still the one I run to, the one that I belong to. It's still the one I want for life. Oh baby, it's still the one I love, the only one I dream of. It's still the one I need good night.
ago, someone told me I should take caution when it comes to love. I did, and you were strong and I was not. My illusion, my mistake. I was careless, I forgot I did. And now, when all is done, there is nothing to say. You have gone there so effortlessly. You have won, you can go ahead, tell them all I know now. Shout it from the rooftops, write it on the skyline. All we had is gold now. Tell them I was happy, and my heart is broken. All my scars are open. Tell them what I hoped would be impossible. Impossible. Falling out of love is hard. Falling for betrayal is worse. Broken trust and broken hearts. I know. Thinking all you need is there. Building faith on love and words. Empty promises will wear. I know. And now, when all is gone, there is nothing to say. And if you're done with embarrassing me, on your own, you can go ahead, tell them all I know now. Shout it from the rooftops, write it on the skyline. All we had is gold now. Tell them I was happy, and my heart is broken. All my scars are open. Tell them what I hoped would be impossible.
I remember a lot of things. This beautiful song by Chantal, my darlings. Actually, I've been giving you beautiful songs tonight. Got started with Invincible, Kelly Rowland, Tiny Temperada, and then I took you to You're Called the One. Now, this song by Edward Patemai G. Look, I'm correct people, sha. My friends are ballers, you know. A lot of people around me are talented in one industry or the other, but there's just a lot of talent, you know. There's just a lot of talents going on around me. So you might want to come around me because the good news, the goodness that I carry choke. And then to Impossible by Chantal. Well, this song actually describes, what tonight's conversation is going to be about. So when they come back, should you take them back? So have you had an experience? Have you had a situation with, somebody who you dated, somebody you loved, who hurt you, when they hurt you, do you take them back? Should you? Should you take back an ex, who hurt you? Maybe they now come and they explain. They come and tell you that it was the devil. For some people, they're like, oh, I will take them back depending on what they did to me. Yeah? So that would determine whether or not they'll come back into my life. So for you, when you break up with a person, are you done, as in done? Is there a second chance? Do you give second chances? Is there a likelihood of a second chance, with you and a particular person? That is if they are still single. I'm not talking about married people, please. Anybody that has married, that has gotten married, should stay married. Let them sit down there. Except in the case of domestic abuse. Yes, that's when you can now run for your life. But as long as they're not beating you, where I'm just saying it, please. I'm joking. Before people go and quote me and say, Amaka said people should not get a divorce no matter what happens. I did not say, Mbok. before you go and quote me. Even if you want to quote me, you better use allegedly. I'm serious. Even if you want to quote me, you better use allegedly. Because if you don't use allegedly, I'ma sue you, baby. Even if I talk I go still sue you. Because he did not use allegedly. So that's what is really in our Nigeria now. Every small thing, allegedly. All the videos I get to see on social media, so somebody wants to say something, you not be hearing somebody's making a video trying to make a complaint or trying to talk about something that happened to somebody, and stuff. You not be hearing. So they said this person went to this place to go and do this and that. Allegedly. I see. I was. What's going on here? I'm like, what's going on in Nigeria? I thought you people agreed. I thought we all agreed we had freedom of expression here. I thought we agreed we had freedom of speech. So, where did freedom of speech go? Now, don't sell them. Where did the freedom of expression go? Did you people sell it? Or did you go Judas on it? Did you do all, 30 coins? 30 silver coins? I don't know, but it's crazy over here. I just said earlier while I was hosting The Thrill, I said Nigeria narcissism film. Kai! Korean movies have got nothing on Nigeria. Nigeria is an unending tale. Nah, if I were a producer and I had to produce Nigeria as a movie, I'll be in business for a really long time. Because there'll be something to produce, there'll be something to work on, there'll be seasons upon seasons. Like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, not reach. They had over 20 seasons, I said they not reach. What? Nigeria Choco. You guys, are you ready for this your country? Anyway, in this our dearly beloved Nigeria, with how messed up our dating pool is right now, and then you'll not be hearing the devil is better than the angel you don't know. That's something people say as well. That the devil is better than the angel you don't know. So somebody has been a devil. Somebody has been a devil as per, not as in Satan, the devil like that. But as per, somebody has done something bad to you before. Or you've dated somebody before. You know their flaws. You know their weaknesses. Right? And then you meet somebody else. So this person is new. You don't know the person's flaws. You don't know the person's weaknesses. And so some people will say, my dear, hey, everybody has a problem. Every human being has a problem. Everybody has a challenge. So the devil is better than the angel you don't know, because at least the devil his weaknesses, his strength. So you'll be able to deal with this particular devil because you know this devil. And you know the things that make up this devil. But you see this angel, hey, this angel, when this angel turns around to become the devil, this angel might kill you. Hey, he choke. I don't know when we got there, how we got there. When it comes to relationships, when it comes to marriages, but we'll talk about it tonight, beautiful people. If you have ever been hurt by a person and then they come back to you, would you take them back? Should you take them back? Tonight is that night that we should have this conversation. It's on the table tonight. So sit pretty. We go talk. It is very important. Tony Braxton's and Trey songs yesterday, beautiful people. Enjoy it first and then we'll talk about it. Okay?
Is
Yesterday, beautiful people. I love that song. Kai. So there was this time a couple of years ago. I think I discovered the song while I was in secondary school. I don't know what made me discover it. So trust me, it wasn't heartbreak. Just in case you are thinking in that line. It wasn't heartbreak because I feel like some of you know how to like run speed. You will immediately begin to think that you don't break this gay heart. What? So it's not like I cannot categorically tell you that I've been heartbroken before, right? But not so you don't think I can relate to some of the things that you people have gone through. While I may never have been heartbroken before, and it's not because there's anything special about me or something, or not that I'm too fine or they know they feed break up with me or something like that before people get it twisted. I think it's because I haven't really dated that much. I know they date like that. Kai. It's just for me, it's a whole lot. Right? It's it's a whole lot for me. I don't like, the idea of just having that whole title when I'm not seeing commitment. There are lots of things I look out for before I decide I want to date somebody, before I say, okay, yes, let me give this person a chance. And you'll be amazed at the qualities I look out for. I can't tell you because it's a secret. I cannot tell you, but then it is what it is, right? So imagine having, like preferences or having such principles that would guide you, that would, guide your choice of partner or partners, and then eventually have a relationship. One thing leads to another, and then that relationship ends. You go your separate ways, and then all of a sudden the person comes back. Like somewhere down the line something happens, and then the person comes back and stuff. So what would be your reaction? Have you had to take back any of your exes before? How did that play out for you? Why did you take them back? Why did you go back to them? If you're an ex who has gone back to a person you previously dated, why did you go back to that person? Now, somebody told me something this evening. A friend of mine told me something this evening. That was in response to, because I did put this out on my WhatsApp list, my WhatsApp status, and so a friend of mine responded. I did ask the question: when they come back, should you take them back? When they come back, should you take them back? So he said, sorry is not enough usually to decide to take a person back, right? There has to be a whole lot. There are a lot of things that you'd need to pay attention to. And then he quoted something that Pastor, I think that would be Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo also. But Sha said this one, one of the preachers, I think, he said Kingsley Okonkwo, yes. And then, so he said, the man said, if somebody goes, if you break up with somebody and then they come back to you, make a list. Make a list of why the relationship ended in the first place. Make a list of why you broke up with them or they broke up with you in the first place. So why did they break up with you in the first place? Now, if they come back, right, go back to that list and check for the qualities. What has changed out of those things that made you break up with them in the first place? What has changed that made you break up with them or that made them break up with you? Because it happens either ways. It's either you move emotion for the adjournment of the relationship or they move the emotion for the adjournment of the relationship. So either way, emotion will be moved, right? The emotion will be moved. And then somebody has to second or third, and then the eyes will have it. The eyes will have it. So, you make a list, you go back to that list, and then you check what has changed in their character, their personality. Is that something they used to do when you two dated that you didn't like, that led to the breakup? Was that something they did? Was that something you used to do that led to the breakup, that made them say, look, I cannot date you again. Kill on sorrow. Like, they are done. When they say that they are done. Like, final full stop. So check out for those things and then begin to cross out the ones that you think has changed. That is, if any have changed. Now, if nothing has changed, it simply is, it means the answer is staring you in the face. Should you date them? If they are still the same person, or if you are still the same person they met or they dated earlier and broke up with, if you are still the same person, if they are still the same person, what is the point of dating them again? You want to recycle the breakup. You want to rinse and repeat. You want to go back and do the same process, the same thing over and over again. You know they like new things, like problem, no they tire you. I mean, so you would have to check, really, if there's something different about them. If there are things you complained about and you see that they have made efforts to change, they no longer do those things. Okay, you cross out those things on your list. Or maybe they used to hang out with bad friends you're not comfortable with. You now notice that they've cut off those people who that used to influence them negatively. Maybe they had one vice. Maybe they would smoke, or there was something awful that they would do, and then you check, they've dropped such habits that you are not comfortable with. But then there's something, always something. Maybe it was, the kind of lifestyle. Maybe they were abusive. It could be physical. It could be emotional or verbal. Emotional as per they were emotionally unavailable, right? That can lead to a breakup. A person who is emotionally unavailable should not be in a relationship. You guys, I don't know what you people are dating these days. And to an extent, it might not be your fault because, as established, the dating pool is unfortunately messed up. The dating pool in Nigeria, particularly, is especially messed up. And so people are just there doing what I don't know inside. It's a whole lot going on. But then, maybe it was emotional abuse that led to the breakup. Well, have they changed now? Are they emotionally available for you? Look, people are obvious. If a person likes you, wants to be in your life, if they show, they hide. Don't even be deceived. It's a very obvious procedure. It's really, really very obvious. People who want you will stay in your life and they'll make it very clear that they want to be in your life and that they want you in your life, in their lives as well. It's usually very clear. So when you have mixed signals, if they do you like, Nigerian lights, you date today, date tomorrow, they are doing, you should just go on gen. If you have somebody in your life who is come today, come tomorrow, and like the light is not steady, it's shaking, go on gen. Just go and buy fuel, go on gen. So what I mean is just leave them alone and go and find a stable person. That's it. So if they come back into your life and you know they have changed, they are now ready for something serious, because a serious relationship would require commitment. One that requires commitment would require that you are emotionally available. So if you are going to be emotionally unavailable, you better sit down in your father's house and rest. Simple, straight up. Don't waste anybody's time. Please. Don't add to the already existing problem. Don't do that. Then, verbal abuse. They will say really mean things to you. For some people, they do not think that verbal abuse is a thing. They will just go, is that not just a small thing? Oh, did I slap her? Did I hit him? I just said this, I just said that. Sometimes, look, it's not just about what you say, it's about how you say it. And then it's not just about how you say what you say, but it's about what you say when you say it, right? So there's verbal abuse where you don't take into cognizance your partner's feelings about the things you say to them, the words you use. If you are dating somebody who constantly body shames you, that is not a relationship. That is mental slavery. And it begs the question, are you not loved at home? Even if something happened, you're not loved at home. Even if there's a problem, maybe you're not loved at home, or you were raised on survival, not love or something. Or, there are certain circumstances that led to the fact that you do not get that whole love from home. Maybe your parents are not alive, or your siblings, there's a problem somewhere. I think that if you are coming from such space, one of the greatest things you should look out for in the person you want to settle down with, or in a person that you are dating, should be somebody who provides emotional comfort. Somebody who is kind in words and in deeds. Somebody who is kind in word and in deed. I'm talking words and action. The person says kind things to you only. Now, even when angry, when you love a person, there's a limit to what you will say to them. If you say things that are really, really mean, if you body shame your partner and then you dismiss it under the guise of, oh, I was angry. Honey, you weren't angry. You're just a terrible person. You're a terrible partner. Because you will be tested to your limits as long as you are dating a human being. As long as you are dating a human being, not a dog, or you're not dating an antelope. You're dating a human being who is as imperfect as you are. You will be angry, or they will piss you off. They will piss you off. You will piss them off as well. That is why part of the things you learn before getting married is tolerance, honey. Because you're going to need a truckload of it. Go and ask married people. They will tell you. You will need tolerance. If you're asking how I know that I'm not yet married, I have parents who are married. And I can see that they struggle. They've been married over 30 years. But they still, when they quarrel here, it's a whole lot. The only annoying part of it is that if they now, if this one is telling you something, this one comes to report to you, this one comes to report to you. If you make the mistake of siding with one person, you are going to be the soup. You'll be the, I don't know what, I don't come out hand for anything to make concern love people. For anything to make concern marriage people. People who don't marry, their problem too much. If they dare report and each other to you, don't support anybody. Be in the middle. You know middle? What's that? I'm trying to look for this. Sit down on the fence. Yes. Stay on the fence. Don't, be neither here nor there. Because they will use it to settle. You are even relationship people, you are the one they will use to settle. Because when you now tell them to break up or to leave each other, you will not see on their WhatsApp status, no monkey can separate off. You will not go and see no monkey can separate us. And you'll be looking at yourself. You'll be like, what's that? We have, please, I went to secondary school. I did a little bit of science. Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. Exactly that. I can't remember. I can't believe I remember this thing. Me, I don't like science. I didn't like science at all. Okay. But so Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, right? That humans come from ape. From apes. That man no trash out. Now, why? Just choke. Sometimes I think about these things. I'm like, how did this man sit down? Did he look at himself and decide that he evolved from apes? Simply because we exhibit the same qualities, or characteristics. They give birth. They push their babies the way we push our babies. They hold their young ones the way we hold our young ones. They feed their young. So that's why you're not saying that I look like an ape. Like me now, like this, that I came from ape. See, that man have luck that they not born in my generation. Me and him would have discussed some things. Please, wonderfully and fearfully made. Anyway, beautiful people, So the whole, stuff, it's giving, it can be confusing, I understand that. It can be confusing and it can be worrisome, right? But there are things that you would have to sit down and critically think about. So if your partner is not kind in words and in deeds, if your partner is abusive verbally, says mean things to you, body shames you, sometimes they guise it on that, oh, I was angry, we're quarreling. It is when they're even angry that you find out their true persons. You find out their true personality when you're angry. The things they say to you out of anger are the things that you should pay attention to the most, because that is what they actually think about you more than half the time. Except they say something in the context of the argument. Except it is something related to the argument. But if in the course of an argument they bring up something from the past, or they bring up something totally unrelated, just know that thing, they've been trying to say it to you since, but the opportunity has not presented itself. So when they found the slightest opportunity, they took it to say what they had to say to you. So you should pay attention to what they say to you in anger more. It will help you put things in perspective. That whether or not this person you are dating is a what? Is a person or is not a person. I don't know how else I want to describe them for you. But just know that this is what it is, right? So when they come back, many people have even said that remaining friends with exes who hurt you is a taboo. For some people, as long as your ex hurt you, you have no business. You have no business being friends with them. For some people, whether they hurt you or not, don't be friends with your ex. They will tell you that old firewood they catch. Me, I don't even see how that old firewood they catch. I think that only happens when the circumstances that led to the breakup are trivial and are things that can be worked on or have been worked on. Then that both partners are available and that they want each other. I think it's a very conscious thing. Before the firewood go catch, no matter how old that firewood is, honestly, no matter how old that firewood is, before the firewood go catch, it has to be that two people, the two firewoods, the two logs of sticks. Should be firewood na stick now. Na wood. What's it be? So before it go catch, before the fire fit catch again, it should be that the two people want each other. That the things that led to the breakup in the first place are trivial, minor issues, things that they have either worked on individually or collectively, and then they are now deciding to give themselves a second chance. But if the matter tie apart, if it's a very strong issue, then old firewood cannot catch you. And then if one out of the two people is not interested in reigniting the flame, maybe this person has lighter, the other one has kerosene. That's how it will catch. But if one person has lighter, the other person does not have kerosene, otilo. Or one person has kero, the other person does not have a lighter, otilo, my dear. So it is what it is. It is what it is. And you would not have to go and check whether this is worth fighting for or not. So for some people, don't even be friends with your ex. It's a taboo. For me, it's not exactly out of place. If you both have healed and you have moved on. There are people I know who are exes, but they have remained friends. They have tried to maintain a cordial relationship. They've kept, their friendship at bay, respect each other's privacies, and there's no shot at them getting back together. Because maybe for some of them, they were separated by, religious preferences, some of them tribal preferences. These things are things that are important to people. On my way back from grocery shopping, No, it wasn't grocery shopping. It was market shopping. Now who get money to do grocery shopping? And so today, no, I didn't do grocery shopping. I have bread, so I didn't have to go grocery shopping. I go grocery shopping when I don't have bread. So, I went market shopping. It was not like market shopping, gunga. I just wanted to do my own bullet. I wanted to roast my plantain myself, so that was what I went to get shot. And so on my way back, I passed this salon on my street, and I heard some people talking about ladies now. They would salon sha talk they plenty for that place. And so they were having this conversation about certain tribes in Nigeria wanting to marry themselves. And it was looking like, the Igbos are first on the list. I highly doubt that, not because you people think I'm Igbo, but because I think that I would place the Yorubas on the top of that list. I would place the Yorubas on the top of that list and then Igbo second, right? So the conversation they were having in the salon, they said, Igbo people like to marry themselves, especially from, I think, Anambra, they mentioned, they were like, so when it comes to Igbo, Anambra, that one is even worse. Like, Anambra, they don't just want to marry Igbo, they want to marry Anambra. Like, they want to marry like that. That, okay, so maybe Imo can marry Abia can marry, Imo, or Abia wanting to marry Ebonyi, or, like Enugu and stuff. But Anambra, they're only too much, or they want to marry themselves, and all of that. And then somebody said, look, sometimes they see it as them preserving their culture. And there's this thing I've even heard somebody who is a friend of mine who is from Anambra State, by the way. And one time he was explaining something to me. He said, he called it, some of them don't have this thing where they call it, they don't want to taint their bloodline or taint their lineage with, foreign blood. Yeah. So he was explaining, but this was just, his term. We were having a conversation that day. And so he was trying to explain why there's that whole stereotype, about Anambra people wanting to marry from Anambra and stuff. So he was like, some families will tell you they don't want to taint their bloodline with non-Anambra blood. They want, to have that whole Anambra here. So their children can go from this village to this village, and they want to preserve their culture, where their children will be able to, have a stronghold in the maternal side, and then have a stronghold in the paternal side, and all of that. So for some people, she was like, so for some families, it's really important to them that they have that going on, and all of that. So, okay. And then he shared some insights with me. Okay, and I'm like, it made sense, because every madam to Nketu, right? People have things that are important to them. And so that saloon is not my saloon. And but ordinarily I would have said, okay, so simple. Now that you know, when you want to date, if you are being toasted by an Anambra man, it's either you say no from the beginning, or from the beginning. You ask him what his family's preferences are when it comes to marriage, especially if you're not from Igbo, or if you're not from that particular, state and stuff. You can just, have those conversations. Because sometimes people have these tribal preferences, and it's a real thing. It's a real thing. Some people will not even date people who are not from their tribe. I have a couple of friends who have said, look, if it is not my tribe, I know they date. Talk more of marriage, because they're like, so you can just fall in love now, and then before you know, the relationship is getting serious, but you know that you don't want to marry from this tribe. So what will happen if at some point there's strong commitment, and then you want to now, after carrying the person up, you want to now drop them just like that? You go choke. So these are conversations, part of the first date questions. When you do talking stage, when you start the talking stage, you have a conversation, you are talking for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, you decide to go out on a date. At that date that you go to, in fact, from your talking stage, you can begin to talk about it. Ask them. If you are from different tribes, especially, what are your preferences when it comes to, would you want to marry from this tribe? What are the tribes that you don't want to marry from? Have these conversations on time. Before you go and fall in love with a maker, and the maker will come and tell you that his mother said he should not marry you if you are not Igbo. Before you come and start shouting, Femi, you are wicked, Femi, you are wicked. What did Femi do? Femi told you his mother wants what? A bride she can speak language with. And then you begin to say Femi broke your heart, Femi did this. So to avoid Femi to make sure Femi doesn't break your heart, to make sure Amaka doesn't break your heart, or Emeka, ask these questions on time. Oh, my darlings, no, I don't share update. I don't drop updates now. Don't say I did not do anything for you. I don't drop update for now. Okay, so if you've ever been hurt by somebody you loved, would you take them back if they returned to you? I didn't say that. Many people have said remaining friends with your ex is a taboo. Worse still, if it's an ex who hurt you, it's a bigger taboo. So, the idea of getting into a fresh relationship with an ex, taking them back, taboo, taboo, taboo all around. For others, they will take an ex back, depending on how the relationship ended in the first place. But so for some people, they will consider there's a possibility of them going back to their exes if the circumstance or circumstances that led to the end of the relationship have been fixed or have been taken care of. Some people will go back to their exes. So we can say different strokes for different folks, right? My questions for you beautiful people. E plenty, yo. E plenty. First off, have you ever had an ex come back to you? Have you ever had an ex come back to you? Did you take them back? Why did you take them back? Why did you not take them back? That is, did you take them back? If you did take them back, why did you take them back? If you did not take them back, why didn't you take them back? Or, are you the ex? Are you an ex who went back to an ex? Did they take you back? If they did, why did they? Did you ask them? If they didn't, why didn't they? Did you ask them? Second question. When they come back, should you take them back? When they come back, should you accept them? What are your views regarding taking back an ex? Do you do the whole, when one door closes, it don't close, another door will open? When it end, it don't end, like you had done forever. Is that what you do? Well, phone lines are open. Call in, texting, tell me. I'd love to hear from you. Let's learn from our mistakes so we can do better in future. So let's learn so we can do better in future. Phone lines are open, beautiful people, so hit me up. 0817 0000951 0817 0000951 0810 9510 951 0810 9510 951. Ever had an ex come back to you? Did you take them back? Why did you? Why didn't you? When they come back, should you take them back? Are there certain circumstances that would justify you taking back an ex? What are those circumstances? Please share with me. I want to listen. Are you an ex who went back to your ex? Did they take you back? Why did they? If they didn't, why didn't they? Well, let's talk, beautiful people. All right, first caller. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, Daniel, the king of radio on the line.
Welcome, Daniel. Good morning, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. When I did that, was my first love, though, right? It was teenager love and all that, but we didn't have sex, so. But we are together for about like 2 years before I got admission to year one, and that's fine. So I don't know anything like sexual immorality, right? Now, before I have to come back to her, and when I was in year one, I become mature, I become more advanced. You understand? So I have to come back to her. Before I come back to her, she was pregnant for another person. Okay, and I told her that, okay, can you...
pregnant for somebody else?
Yeah,
But you didn't have
she
sex
was-
with her?
No, I
So
did
she went
not.
and had sex with somebody else and fell pregnant?
Yeah. So I when I get back, I told her, okay, fine. Can you give birth to this baby and give it to the person? I'm still interested.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You were in love with her like that?
Yeah, I love her so much.
Wow.
And she told me that she don't know what will come out. And I went back to school and I was thinking about her so much. I came back again and found out that they have packed her from there. So I have to let go. But me recently, a lady I met December last year. Now, she called me yesterday night. I know what I'm saying. She was telling me that just yesterday night. Julian, it's me, Julie. I said, what's so? Where have you been all this time? She said, no, she traveled and all that. But we didn't quarrel. We just like, we just separated just like that. But I intentionally deleted her number then because maybe I found out that maybe she was busy or something. But we didn't quarrel though. So she wanted to come to the house with something hook her up. But she said that she's coming tomorrow. We made an agreement. But for me, we did not quarrel. But it depends. Now, before you maybe you accept somebody into your life again, it depends how. Maybe the person want to. It depends. Before you guys separate, it depends what happened before.
Okay, that led to the breakup. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I have my ex. Now we are good friends. Although she's married now, we are good friends till today. As I'm talking to you, last time she lent me 20,000 naira, and I paid her back. And there was a time she came, and I called her for money. She lent me 40,000 naira, and I paid her back too. So we are good friends. Minus sex now. We don't do sex at all. We don't do it. Those things. We don't discuss those things at all. But we are good friends. Even till today. Anytime I use new month, I call her, say happy. I wish her happy new month. They say, guy, what's up now? How you doing? I say fine. So it depends.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. All right, so send in messages. Send them to 0701 9339 962. Okay. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Oji.
Okay. Your name is?
My name is Reginald.
You're welcome, Reginald.
I'm into the radio, this is talking about why I should go back to my ex.
If you would go back to your ex, or if your ex comes back to you, if you would accept her.
No, they tire. No, they tire. They talk about this kind of thing. All everything about sex. Make me talk about that thing we go bring money.
Did you hear sex, Reginald? Did you hear sex?
I don't understand. Every time.
Did you hear sex, Reginald? Did you hear sex? Did you hear sex? I have to end the call. But Reginald, I think there's a problem somewhere. Did you hear sex? I said, would you take back an ex? If your ex came back to you, would you take back an ex? Would you go back to an ex? It's simple, please. Abby, you guys. And there was Daniel even called in. Somebody called in first to say what he had to say, to share his experience with us. And then there's you calling in to say sex. Who is talking about sex here? Well, if it wasn't interesting you, why do you listen? You are here at this time of the night and you are listening because it is sweet you, last. Kai, some of you, pretentious much. You don't want to talk about sex on radio, but every other AK Market day, you are on top of somebody's child. Every AK Market day, you are on top of somebody's child. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, my dear. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Alright, my name is Marcus, calling from Elekaya, Port Harcourt.
You're welcome, Marcus.
Okay, concerning this topic, personally, me, even if my ex come back to me, I would not accept her, and I will never ever go back to my ex because, personally,
if like maybe me and my ex now we're in a relationship and then I fucked up, I'll just use our experience, then move on to like the next person. Can you hear me?
Of course, go ahead.
I'll just use my experience. Then maybe if I lied a lot in that relationship, I'll just say, okay, Marcus, calm down, relax. When you move on, these are the things you shouldn't do. You just learn, experience, then you move on to the next person. Her too, she should also learn from me. And move on. I don't think coming back will make any difference. Like for me, somebody like me, let me just share my experience. I went to my ex house and I met her there with her ex. They were busy. Oh my God. Hello?
Yeah.
They were busy, like he was hugging her. I just entered her room and the whole place was not even locked. I just entered there and
was it just the hug, or they were actually were they making out?
Yeah, they were about to. I stopped the process.
Okay.
No, I just, as I entered, I just saw everything. I just left. I just went back. I just went straight to my house. Ever since that day, she called me, she apologized that she's close. So I just told her, my dear, I forgive you. I hope no grudges. Just
move on with your life. Okay. So
for the other, after her, I still dated another person, and I've learned, and we keep on moving on. Until we find the right person. So that's just it.
All right. Thank you, Marcus.
All right, no worries. Good night.
Good night. Yeah. Okay, so some people would agree that some circumstances that would lead to a breakup, right? There's no coming back from that one. For some people who maybe cheating is a deal breaker for, right? Some people will tell you cheating is a deal breaker for them, and so if a partner cheats, there's no coming back from that. For some others, cheating is not a deal breaker. There are people who forgive their partners if they cheat though. There are people like that, okay? But ultimately, I think it comes down to, personal choices and all. Hello? Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Amaka?
Yes,
Amaka.
please.
I want to, you see those kind of people that call you and you be talking, cut them off.
I did.
Yeah, this program by this time is for sex, love, and relationship. And some of them are enjoying it. They will be pretending. Are you with me?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yes, some of them will be enjoying it. They will be pretending. If they call to talk rubbish, you call them off.
Well, that's what I did.
Yes. This program is for sex, relationship, and love.
Okay.
So, on the question you asked, if my ex happens to come back to me,
will you take her back?
I won't take her back.
Why?
At all. Like, for example, now, if my ex now, like, what led us to separate is maybe he's cheating on me, maybe anytime I'm not around, he will go to another man and have sex, and we separated. I cannot, if she's coming back, I can't take her back now because she will still be cheating on me. And I don't like cheating. You will break my heart if I see you cheating. I want you to be all the whole of your body belong to me, so that I will enjoy you, you will enjoy me. Are you listening? So if my ex come back, I won't, because that thing that made us to separate, she will still be doing it. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Amaka, where are you being sent? You are not be coming every day.
Well, I have.
And you are not bringing a hot topic again.
I am.
You are not bringing hot topics like sex and all that.
Okay. Well, we cannot do sex every day now. we have to. There are a lot of other issues bothering relationships and marriages, so we have to touch everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right, so keep your calls coming, keep your messages coming in as well. Let's talk, beautiful people. Lovey-dovey is the time where we learn, we unlearn, we relearn, right? It's a show for that. Love, relationship, marriages, as the name implies. This is not, it's not, we do other shows on this station, right? It's not Talk That Talk, it's not Area Talk, it's not even The Thrill. I mean, it's not our morning show, today's quest, so it's not our sports show. As the name implies, you should know that this conversation at this time would border on love, relationships, marriages, sex. So, if you call in and you ask me such... Okay. This is me and a major level of self-control right here. This self-control that I'm trying to have. I don't know where it's coming from. But no. Some questions are totally irrelevant. Some actions are irrelevant. You calling into a show, is mapped out for conversations like this. And asking such a dumb question. I mean, really, what does that make you? Besides, tonight's conversation is not even about sex. I simply asked, if your ex comes back to you, would you take them back? Abby? Please, the beautiful people, Abby is not what I said. So I'm wondering if this person is hard of hearing. Because I said ex and not sex. Actually, tonight I've not even mentioned anything about sex. Looking back at it now, I haven't actually mentioned anything about sex. I've just been talking about, breakups, circumstances that led to breakups, and if you should accept somebody who you previously dated back into your life and all of that. So, please, do this. Though, my lovey-dovey people, I know that those of you who are actual lovey-dovey listeners, you know the drill. You know that. You listen, you call in. Sometimes some of you call in, you tuned in late, you didn't follow the conversation from the beginning, you want me to bring you up to speed. I do that, and then you make your contributions. So I'm going to say what I want to say now, because we have to prevent for the things like this from happening. Dear Reginald, I remember your name vividly. If you're ever going to call into the show, make sure that you understand what you are calling in for. You understand the conversation on the table and calling for. You call in to contribute. Now, even if I decide to have a conversation on sex every other day on Lovey-Dovey, if I decide to talk about sex every day, Lovey-Dovey happens from Mondays to Thursdays. If I decide to talk about sex from Monday to Thursdays, Reginald, it is not out of place. This is my show. I am the moderator. You do not get to tell me what to talk about on my show. I make the choices. And my lovey-dovey army are very much in tune with my choices, right? There are lots of things that we talk about, that we discuss here. We discuss things that would help us in relationships, help us in our marriages, help us do it better. Sometimes I want to have a sexual conversation, and because I want people to get insight, from the medical perspectives, I bring a team of nurses and doctors. Lovely people, I bring a team of nurses and doctors, and they explain the things that you didn't think existed. There are myths and there are actual truths. I make sure that I bring you up to speed. I make sure you're getting accurate information, because that is what I'm here for. I share experiences with you, real life experiences. The things I say to you here have happened to people in real time. Sometimes if it's a movie, I tell you, oh, it's a movie. But you all know that movies are usually make-believe of real life. So the people who come up with the stories that they come up with is because something has happened to somebody somewhere that they know or that they have heard or read of. And then they want to pass a message. across to you. They want to tell you how to deal with that situation if it comes your way. So they'll make a movie because they're trying to impact. They're trying to bring up, they're trying to teach a lesson. That's how it happens. So what we do here is serious. It's not child's play. So for people like Reginald, if you know that you do not like it here, honey, this is not by force. I don't know. An airtime cost though. Do you know that when I recharge my phone these days, I'm so angry. I am so pissed, guys. I don't know about you, but I'm so pissed. When I recharge my phone these days, either my button lines, I get so angry because I'm like, waiting be this. A particular network I use. They used to give Bonanza before. Maybe you people know them. I don't want to call name. I don't want to call their name because it just vex me. Once you recharge like this, you just be getting like bonus. They'll give you bonus, this bonus, like bonus airtime and then bonus data. So since I will call people and we'll talk on the phone. Now, anything way past WhatsApp call. I don't come out my hand for anything way past WhatsApp call because it's so crazy. Except it's an emergency or if somebody I don't want to talk to on WhatsApp or I can't talk to on WhatsApp. I can't go online and begin to have that conversation. If not, honey, let's go and do WhatsApp. Let's do WhatsApp call. Call me on WhatsApp. I'm online. Even the online self, the data self, they vex me. When I will not come and see YouTube night. YouTube night, how? I should wake up in the midnight. Apart from when I'm doing level, or as I'm doing level like this now, I should be on YouTube. With the date, I don't know. These people are doing a lot of things. So because these telecommunication companies, they try me. It's so funny. So I was going to say the airtime costs, data don't cost. And somebody decided he wanted to call into this amazing show to annoy me. It'll take a whole lot. It'll take a whole lot, my darling. It will take a whole lot. Anyway, I'm going to get back to the calls and the messages, of course. So keep it coming, my darlings. Keep it coming, all right? Keep it calling. Okay, yeah, I see your messages, all right? Keep it calling. 0701 9339 962. 0701 9339 962. Regular text messages and then WhatsApp messages as well. Call in and tell me what you prefer. Texting, yeah, therefore calls 0810 9510 951 0810 9510 951 0817 0000 951 0817 0000 951. P.S. I'm live on Facebook. Forgot to mention that when I first started. I'm live on Facebook, so you can, if you haven't already followed me, it's Amaka Felix on Facebook. AMAKA Amaka. Then Felix is FELIX, right? So hit me up, call in, and answer the questions, right? For those of you who are watching on Facebook, hello, beautiful people. You can also drop your comments in the comment section, my darlings. All right, so talk to me. If you have ever had an ex come back to you, have you ever had an ex come back to you after, a relationship ended and then let's say a couple of months later or a couple of years even, because sometimes it's a couple of years later, right? And then an ex comes back to you. Did you take them back? If you took them back, why did you? If you didn't, why didn't you take them back? When they come back, should you take them back? If people go out of your life and then they come back into your life, should you take them back? Would you take them back? Is it a proper thing to do? Are there certain circumstances that would justify you taking back an ex? Are there things that would happen and then you would be justified if you took back an ex? Have you ever taken back an ex before? So some relationships would end because the two people were finding it difficult to understand each other, right? Not because somebody cheated, not because they fell out of love with each other, but sometimes insecurities would breed, certain feelings in one or both partners. I'm talking uncertainties, insecurities, brought about by uncertainties of life. You would agree with sometimes when there are financial constraints, people, especially men, tend to worry about what the future holds. Given the norm, that what we see in our society nowadays, which is always actually it's been there for a really long time, where you notice that there's a girl and a guy, they're dating, maybe they're around the same age group or something, or the guy is slightly older or so, and then before you know it, the guy is still struggling to find his footing. Women who are in their prime, women peak earlier than men, and so before you know it, the woman is having suitors from men who are older and who have already found their footing, and then before you know it, there's the whole leave the guy, don't leave the guy. There's that whole, because the guy is not financially stable, he's not ready for a family yet, then he cannot be with this woman, or there's the whole, will she leave me, will she not leave me, all that conversation comes up, and then, it can lead to insecurity. And before you know, sometimes it's the guy who even suggests a breakup, that he cannot deal with the pressure or the anxiety of knowing that someday this girl might leave me for a richer man. She can leave me when she finds somebody who is ready to settle down, because women peak earlier than men do. And because women peak earlier than men do, it simply means it's more advisable for a woman to get married in her prime. And so because she's in her prime and she has to get married in her prime to avoid being tagged an old cargo, she cannot now wait for a guy who is yet to find his footing financially. So sometimes that can lead to a breakup, right? In certain situations, people will break up because of that, or on that premise. So in such circumstances, what if they break up because of the guy's insecurities, and then the girl does not exactly leave the guy to go and get married to somebody else? The relationship ends because the guy is scared that if he doesn't leave her while he can, somebody else will come in and take her away from him. And so that relationship ends. They agree that, maybe on the guy's insistence, that the relationship should end. And then after a while, the guy begins to, make, it looks like, the shake body, begins to make headways financially. There's that small shaking body, shake body. And then he's moving. And then the girl is available, he's available still. So what if they find their way back to each other? If they find their way back to each other, and then they decide to continue the relationship, would it be a happily ever after story? Would it end in praise? Would it be your typical Nollywood love story where they live happily ever after? Like after all said and done, they find themselves, they find their way back to each other, and then they live happily ever after. So that's like a thing, right? That's like, I just decided to paint that scenario in your head so you can actually think about it, because sometimes there are circumstances that have led to the breakup of a relationship. Sometimes too, there's distance. So they got separated by distance, especially for high school lovers. High school lovers, secondary school, you just left. One person moved to another state or moved outside the country, and this one happened, that one happened. So years later, they somehow find their way back into each other's lives. They meet somewhere, or they connect. Maybe there's social media now, so social media be bringing people together. So you can be here, and if you remember their name, just go and look for them on social media. That is if they have not changed their name to Miss Candy. Miss Candy, or it's Young John. So that's something that happens, and then you begin to wonder, okay, so what is the way forward? Yeah, so these are scenarios. All right, so make I start to read messages, because these messages I'm looking at here, you choke. and I would need to respond to these messages. So let's get started. All right, let's get started. I have to begin this very first one. It says, "Good morning, pretty lady. I'm Ima writing from Uniport. Don't mind that caller. With your sweet voice, I'm all right." Oh, thank you, Ima. Thank you, my dear. Some people will test you. All right, moving on. This one says, okay. Let me start through this. All right. This one says, Amaka, when I was single, there was a reason why I don't quarrel with my exes. We always hit the ground running when and wherever we meet again, after months or years. No be gallows with this. Hold up. Let me read this message again. When I was single, there was a reason why I don't quarrel with my exes. We always hit the ground running when and wherever we meet again after months or years. You be gaduso. What do you mean by you hit the ground running whenever you meet? So, in your case, this one is the old firewood that used to catch. I mean, what do we... How do we best describe this? How can we... What's the accurate description for this now? That's why they say don't stay... You are, I think you are a typical example. You are the reason why they say don't be friends. You are the reason they say don't be friends with your ex. You are the reason. You are the reason they say don't be friends with your ex. That if you are friends with they say they keep yam and goat together. Okay, so you're not keeping yam and goat together. Don't keep yam and goat together. We don't keep lion and goat together. So you are the reason. So when you meet your exes, you used to do what? You hit the ground running. And then after you hit the ground running, you continue running. Okay. And then he went for that to write, Amaka, there's hunger. Oh, there's anger and frustration in the land. Please don't waste your time on that caller. Well, I had his time. Oh. I had his time, but sorted. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to move on to other messages here. There's a few texting. Please keep them coming, because the earlier the better. The earlier the better, so I can read through. Okay. Okay, this one is from Chidi texting from PH. Okay, so Chidi says, "Hello, good morning to you, Amaka. First off, that caller must be out of his mind. Some people really do not even bother to listen to a conversation before calling in to spew the things that they spew. Anyway, like he already said, he probably is not even a regular lovey-dovey listener. My dear, else he would have known that we don't always talk about sex here. But even if we do, it's really not his business. It's his choice to either listen or move to another dial, which is the thing. Anyway, in connection with tonight's conversation, would I take an ex back? Amaka, this matter choco. Well, as an ex, I have never gone back to any of my exes, but I have had to take back one ex like that when she came back. And my reason was because I checked and I saw that one of the reason we broke up in the first place had disappeared. It had gone away, and which was neatness. She was not neat at all, and when she came back, I noticed she had changed in that aspect and she had begun to maintain proper hygiene, and so I took her back. The relationship is still on till today. We are still checking, and if everything goes according to plan, it might lead to marriage because she is an amazing person still. I only broke up with her the first time because I couldn't condone the dirtiness, but she's doing so well now. Well, okay. I'm thinking about what to say. I'm thinking about what to say. Okay, so look at this. This is one of those cases where, okay, so maybe the things that led to the breakup in the first place. So this is, I think he just answered with his experience, right? He just answered the third question as well. If there are circumstances that will justify you taking back an ex. So you, like I mentioned earlier, Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo is popular now, Abby. So he's popular because most times I see his videos trending on social media a lot. So, like he said, make a list of the things that made you break up in the first place, the qualities you saw that made you break up, or the reasons you broke up in the first place. Now, if the person comes back, you check, are those reasons still there? Are those reasons still there? Are those qualities still there? Does this person still possess those qualities that I do not like, and so that led to the breakup, you know? So if you check and see that there are changes, okay, maybe, just maybe you might want to give it a go. So for him, he just wrote that it was, you know, she could not maintain proper hygiene. She did not maintain proper hygiene. And so he noticed, when she came back, he noticed she had changed. You know, she was not doing better. She's still doing better. And so the relationship is going on. Well, let's hope this one has a happy ending. Let's hope it has a happy ending. All right, more messages here. These are the kind of things I like to read. I like to read, like, you know, like the sweet stuff, you know, things are happening and all that. Oh, okay. Let's read this message here from Esther. Esther says, "Hello, Amaka. Good morning to you. First off, I admire your patience, but I realized that you really had to put that guy in his place. Thank you for addressing this issue, because if you had not addressed it, it most likely is going to happen again. The next time it does, anyway, he had better be on the lookout, because I'll be the one to call in and correct that mess up." If he doesn't know what lovey-dovey is about, then he should stop listening to the show. Let it be there for those of us who know what we benefit from this show. Thank you, Esther. Well, she says, to the conversation at hand, I have had an ex come back to me and I couldn't take him back, Amaka. The reason I left him in the first place was because the guy was a serial cheat. Dude could sleep in everything on a skirt. And that is not something I wanted to deal with, because cheating is a deal breaker for me. Because I know I can never let another man touch me as long as I am seeing someone. So for me, if I can keep myself for you, why can't you keep yourself for me? When people come back to you after a breakup, I think you should check their character and look out for those things that made you break up with them in the first place. If those things are no longer there, then you maybe can take them back if you are still available. But if those things are still there, please maintain the distance. Yes, Amaka, to the third question, there are certain circumstances that will justify you taking back an ex. Sometimes people break up because of distance, or sometimes too, circumstances beyond their control at that point in time. But if these circumstances are no longer there and the two people involved are good people who still love or like each other, then they can give it another shot. Thank you for texting, Esther. Thank you for texting, Esther. Okay, let's go. More messages here. All right, this one says, I'm Maxwell texting from PH. Good morning to you, Amaka. I hope that you had a pleasant day. Oh, yes. Thank you. My day was normal. I think I slept a lot yesterday. Okay, so Maxwell says, first off, having an ex come back to me, I really don't know what I would do because I have never had that happen. I used to think it's because I was a bad boyfriend. Well, maybe you were. Okay, let me take a pause and take this call. Hello? Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. This will be Casey. Sorry?
Yes.
Okay, hi Casey, how are you? Good morning.
Well, I will answer a question and anyway, let's just say the variety of it.
You want to say what? Yeah, I can, but the line is doing a lot.
Okay, is it better now?
Okay, yeah.
All I can say is you look like a goddess tonight. Trusted goddess. Gee.
First off, come and be going from that YouTube.
Anyway, yeah, about taking back my ex, nah, I will not.
You will not take back an ex?
Nope. And especially if the breakup was based on an immature reason. That'll be the worst. Never, ever.
Especially if the breakup was what?
For an immature reason.
Okay. Immature reason.
Right now, I don't feel like even if I share even though I've already actually. So, yeah, I mean, why take back somebody who didn't want you in the first place? And when you see that it never worked out for both of you, how are you sure it will work out?
The second time.
So, all right. God bless Amaka. Good night, darling.
All right, good night. Thank you for calling. All right, okay, so let me get back to this message. So he says, maybe because I was a terrible boyfriend. Well, maybe my dear. Maybe that's why your exes have not come back to you. Okay, so he continued. But I think that people can go back to their exes if they are still very much available, if they really discover that their feelings for each other are still there. And like you said, Amaka, if they have checked and maybe the reason they broke up in the first place no longer exists, or if the person or persons involved have done something to change their character, then they can go back to their exes. But if not, if it is the same thing, same old, then they should not even bother at all. That one will just be time wasting. All right, he says it will be time wasting. The part where he said maybe because he has been a terrible boyfriend. It's something to actually think about. So if you have had none of your exes reach out to you that they want you back, I don't mind this. Don't mind this man that texted though. So it does not mean that just because an ex has not come back to you that you are a bad person. Sometimes it could be that the relationship ended due to irreconcilable differences. You know your reality. You know what happened. I said for some people there's the religious preference, which is a big deal, whether you like it or not. It's possible that maybe some people are irreligious, right? They are irreligious and so they are open to whatever. Their partner should do or can do whatever. It doesn't really matter. Yes. Some people, that's for those who are irreligious. Some people are not. They are highly religious and so it's important to them that they marry from a particular faith, right? So under such circumstances, that difference is, it can be irreconcilable. Especially if they believe in different things, or they are of different faiths. So there's that on the one hand. And then there's also, the whole tribal preferences, which are equally important. tribal preferences, you have to look at it. You want to make sure that this is what is obtainable. You want to make sure that you are on the same page, that the person does not have a problem with marrying from your tribe. You do not also have a problem with marrying from the other person's tribe. That your families do not have a problem with marrying from each other's tribes. Because some of you will say you are okay. You are okay until your mother is telling you no. Your father is telling you no. This one is dragging you from here. This one is dragging you from there. They are insisting. And before you know it, you give in. You cower to the pressure. Because sometimes when family want to sit on top of your matter, if you are not a strong person, if you don't do gidiba like this on the ground, they're gonna turn you topsy-turvy. They will turn you topsy-turvy. They will not invite aunties and uncles. They will call umuna to come and sit down on your head, and then you will not be like, when did I become the black sheep of the family? You go, they wonder what you do, You'll be shocked at the level of how much, energy they would put into making sure that you either change your mind, or something of the sort. So it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is, my darlings. So meanwhile, let me take the remaining messages and then we can come and be going, because looking at our time right here. Almost done. All right, so let's move on. This one from David texting from... Okay, David is texting from PH. All right, David says, when they come back, Amaka, I've been hurt by someone I loved. I thought that person was going to be my forever, but unfortunately, it did not work out. Well, so there's one thing, right? There's one person who, if she comes back to me today, Amaka, I will accept her. The truth is, we were separated by distance, and that's just it. But I pray that sometime in the future we find ourselves and that we are both still available. I already told God that if I ever see her again, I would want to marry her if she's available. But I also told God that if she's not available by the time, if she's not available, he should make sure that I never come across her again. Because it would hurt to know that she's not with somebody else, and maybe if I'm still single myself. So my own is, if I should ever see her again, let it be that if she's married, I want to also be married by then. But if I'm single, then she should also be single. Because if I see her, I'm definitely going to marry her. No bad feelings, no problems at all. We only got separated by distance. She left the country. That's it. And then for the other person, she cheated on me. She cheated on me, Amaka. So no, absolutely. No matter what she does, I would never take her back. To your last question, if there are certain circumstances that would justify one taking back an ex, well, my experience is proof that there are certain circumstances like distance that happened in my case. But for the other one who cheated on me, absolutely no way. That's it. Okay. All right. That's okay. All right, so Okay, so here we go. Let me take this last message. This one says, "Lovely greetings, Amaka. I personally have never had an ex come back to me, but if it eventually happens, my accepting them would depend on certain circumstances. By the way, while I'm not in support of the uninformed callers did, I think he should have been addressed by only you, Amaka, and even more respectfully." It was okay. Let's see. I'm Michael from Iwafe. Okay, thank you for texting, Michael. I don't understand the was beginning to sound kind of rude part. Okay, but then again, I addressed it. I addressed what I addressed, and it is what it is. Some people never get the memo, but I did address it, and then people who wanted to say what they had to say about the situation said what they wanted to say. Those who texted, I think it was only one person who said it via call. Anyway, all right, so thank you, beautiful people, for texting. Thank you for calling. Our time is fast spent. It is time to come and be going, my darlings. Right, so I did address what I had to address, right, given the circumstance, and I said the things I had to say because I think, well, the things I said, but for clarity purposes, we know what we do on this show, and at this time, it is a love show. We talk love, we talk sex, we talk relationship, we talk marriage. That's what we do on this dial at this time. So I think that it is highly hypocritical to call in and say that a love show, a show about relationship and marriage, should not talk about sex. Do you know what the time is, honey? Am I supposed to discuss politics at this time? If you tune into this dial and I'm telling you that the president said, or the president has approved $1 billion for rural electrification, you know, go off your radio. Anyway, my darlings, lovey-dovey army, my lovey-dovey community, you guys are the real MVPs, okay? Thank you for listening. Thank you for calling. Thank you for texting. Thank you for doing the things that you do. Thank you for staying true to yourselves. Let's keep it coming. Let's maintain the energy around here. It's all love. No negative vibes. No negative energy. It's all love in here. Okay, my darlings? Well, if everything goes according to plan, LWW will happen later on tonight. And we're going to talk again. So make sure to stay tuned to the dial. It is Today 95.1 FM, so you are guaranteed premium content all day, every day. In the morning, we'll bring you up to speed with everything happening in the world of politics. And your day will begin with breakfast sports. So make sure to keep it locked right here on Today 95.1 FM. I'm Amaka. I'm the host with the most. And as the PH buddy, I dare for you. You know, say I dare for you. I got you big time. Okay? Make sure to follow me on everything social media. On X, it's Amaka Potakot. On Instagram, it's D Amaka Felix, as in THE, D Amaka Felix. On Facebook, it's just Amaka Felix. Make sure to follow me, and then we can connect. Enjoy the song by Edward Patta. It's titled You. As I'm my guy now, you know, and the song is amazing, so make sure to enjoy it. Edward Patta with you. Have a blessed day, beautiful people. Bye.